I'm so mean.
Allegedly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Allegedly. I'm not really so mean, as they say.
You kind of are, Greg. Come on, William.
No, that's true. Yeah, I can't really argue that, but, it just is what it is. But now we're on, let's see, part three. Part 3 of 3. So we're on Crystal Rogers, and then part 3 of Crystal Rogers' portion of the Bardstown murders. And we about 4 or 5 days ago, we were in the middle of Nick Houck's, I don't know what you call it, interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really can't remember anything at all.
Nothing. That
had to do with significant moments regarding the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, but he seemed to remember some, a lot of details about these nothing that's important. It's really
right.
It's weird.
Yeah, and for everybody who's listening, Nick is the brother of Brooks, who is the main suspect in the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. So he was a police officer at the time, and he's being interviewed now by the Kentucky State Police.
Yeah. Do you think both of them are suspects at this point, though? I mean,
officially they said Brooks was, right?
It seems like when he made that phone call, he got fired, and there was a grand jury. There's another, I think Cass Lynn sent me another, it's like a 30-minute one we might have to play, because it's the hearing about Nick Houck. Right. And it's pretty interesting because they really, go after him on that one. So, I don't know. I feel like they're...
I think personally they're both... I think whatever they did together, 100%.
Their theory is probably that Brooks, what a weird name.
Brooks.
He did something to her, and then Nick helped cover it up.
I agree.
Or maybe was even part of the whole thing, and in terms of planning it. If this is planned, then it seems like he might be part of it, because he might have had something to lose by information that Crystal might have known about the going-ons behind the scenes with Brooke and their family business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it would be one without the other. Nope, I think they were both involved. I think one is just as bad as the other one. I also feel like they were involved somehow, for some reason, in Jason's murder. And
I do too.
I don't know.
I'm not like 100% convinced, but I'm like 80% that they had something to do with it. It just seems way too coincidental, and it looks like there's 2 people involved in that one.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a lookout.
There was 2 different types of bullets, right, at the scene?
I thought that was part of it. And then also, it seems like somebody would have to be a lookout for Jason Ellis coming down the highway, because you wouldn't put the tree out there an hour early and just sit there waiting, because any other car might have stopped, and then it would have been gone. So you had to have the lookout. But anyways, so let's get to the part 2 of Nick.
Let's do it.
And then hopefully we can get all the way through, whether, I don't know how long you can be on here, but there's a part, a polygrapher, or I don't know what you call him, but he's the FBI.
Yeah, that was a good one. We have to play it.
Yeah, we got to get to that one at some point, but let's see.
Have to play that one, yeah.
All right, so anyways, Nick sits there for a long time. You can actually see the clock move at the top. I see now it's 10 minutes later when he just sort of sat in that same position. And then, oh wait, I think I have to zoom that in, don't I?
And hey to everybody in the chat while Gray is getting us ready.
There we go.
Thanks for coming over. You're not showing it, Craig.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That means a lot. That's where you have to. That's where we need to look at. I think we do have that look at thing in there, don't we?
I think we do have to look at.
Come on, you guys. You got to use that. Yeah, right there. Look at. Right there.
Here we go.
This is when they came back in the room.
Couple of things. Okay. Let's a couple of things we want to just touch on here. The 10th, which would have been Friday, this past Friday.
The day after they came and took your car.
Okay. About 8:30 p.m. that night, Brooks Keith Rogers was over at Brooks' house getting some clothes for the kids. Mm-hmm. And he said, Brooks got a call from you, talked for a second, and he hung up the phone, told your mom, hey, we gotta go, Brooks, or Nick needs our help. Do you remember what that was about?
I have no idea.
Again.
So you didn't call him on Friday and ask him for any kind of help? I don't recall.
He has no idea. He doesn't
recall.
recall. He doesn't
that happened on Friday? You have
Well, he knows that saying I don't recall and I don't remember is kind of that standard shit that you do all the time, right? Where it's just you say that and nobody can really question you on it. It's just not believable, but you know.
I don't know, waterline bust, anything like that you needed help with?
No.
You remember him coming over on Friday, just this past Friday, a couple days ago?
I don't.
And you didn't meet with him on that Friday?
I'm not that I'm aware of.
Do you remember going over to Brooks' house and unloading some stuff out of your trunk into your mom's car?
I don't know that I've unloaded anything from the cruiser.
Now, there's you've got neighbors that have, you know, a spot that they can actually see your cars in the driveway, right? Mm-hmm. Over in that area. Now, a neighbor stated that they saw you taking something out of your trunk and placing it in your mom's car.
That didn't happen.
Okay.
Nothing. I mean, you didn't even take a fire extinguisher out or anything.
Nope.
Okay. Where would the fire extinguisher be if it wasn't in your trunk when they took your car?
Should have been in the trunk of the car.
I don't think it is it?
I don't think there's a fire extinguisher back there. Nothing would be in your mom's car out of your police cruiser right now if we went and popped it. Well, you know, if we went and looked, if she let us.
Not a thing.
So, going back to the Friday night, would there be anything on your phone or your phone records that would show a call between you and Brooks at 8:30 p.m. on Friday?
Your guess is as good as mine. You want welcome to check it.
Okay. So, do you have your phone with you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Where's it? Is it at home?
It is.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus. Why wouldn't he have...
willing to let us download it? Put it on the cell?
See, that's crazy, right? Who goes anywhere, you know, this day and age without their phone, especially a police officer, right?
You know,
So,
him.
except for people who don't know that during the interrogation they're going to ask for your phone. He knows all that stuff.
Absolutely. He
So
does.
now he knows what they, you know, so it's almost like he's listening to their questions and he's going, okay, I got to remove that one. Okay, I got to get rid of that one. You know, he's listening and then he's going to go home and then, although the phone records are going to be the phone records. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even when they're deleted, you can get them back.
Yeah.
So.
What a God.
So, right?
Just copy the contacts and the phone
Yes.
calls
I
on
mean,
those.
it'd take an hour or two to, I mean, it obviously wouldn't be right this minute. We don't have a cell right here with us, but.
No.
Yeah, he might even
And
have
you
it
don't
like
have
in
cell
his
phone
car
with
or something like that.
Okay.
What kind of phone do you have?
iPhone.
Is it a 4, 5, 6, 6 plus?
I think it's 4 or 5.
Got a passcode to it.
The charger, is it the wider charger or is it the thinner charger?
About that wide.
That one? Yeah.
So it's like 5 or 4. 5 and 6 use the hot charger, the
The itty one. Yeah.
So probably a 4. But it doesn't have a passcode on it.
Going back to the 8th when you called your brother when he was up here interviewing, what was the tone of that conversation? Was it just kind of like what we're talking here, real calm, collected?
No, I mean, I probably raised my voice a little bit. I mean, I obviously wanted John to know that I'd called up there, you know. I mean, he's sitting right there beside him. I didn't have anything to hide, you know. Like I said, I wanted to be sure things were getting done right, and
Sure.
I mean, he'd been up here for hours and hours, and I wanted him to cooperate and everything, but I wanted him to protect himself also.
I mean, you raised your voice to the point that we could sit there and basically hear word for word on the recording.
On the audio.
On the audio recording. I mean, that's how much you raised your voice. I mean,
That was
that's
awesome.
a little bit more than raising your voice. It almost sounded like a shouting match. I mean,
I don't really see it that way, but I mean, I wanted him to listen, you know, I mean.
okay. So that night after you called your brother and told him to leave, or told him to be careful or take care of himself, et cetera, et cetera. Did you all meet up anywhere?
Not that I recall, I don't think we did.
Well, you talked about the videos out there at your
Mm-hmm.
at the house on the corner of Pascal Ballard.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew his brother was in interrogation, and he calls him up going, hey, quit telling what you're saying. And then he doesn't meet him ever again after that. He doesn't remember. Oh, yeah. It's
No,
amazing.
why would he? I mean, really.
That video does show
Your car.
you and your brother going out there, arriving at the same time, right behind each other.
Mm-hmm.
We got witnesses that said they remember passing both of you out on 49.
Mm-hmm.
One right, he was in front and you were behind him.
We didn't make a special trip out there together, if that's what you're getting at.
I mean, that's just a,
Just a coincidence that y'all showed up at the same time to go out there.
and then y'all were out there till right at 11.
What's amazing is how he just so easily says these things. Like it's so unbelievable. And that they're just going, holy shit, this guy, right? But he just says it like, wow, if you think
Really factually, like, no, I don't know, no.
And I think that's why I thought he did, when I say well, I think he won the deal against the FBI guy. Because he just sat there and he knew where the guy was going. But anyways, we'll have to get to that later. But
22, you start out, stop down at the end of the drive, back up, and then you all leave out together.
What's that name you said? I backed up, or?
Mm-hmm. You started down the drive and stopped, and then back up the hill a little bit, and then I guess I don't know if you're waiting for him or what, but you all left together.
I don't remember that, but.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Well, we know you arrived together and you left.
That's pretty,
together. We know that.
Hey, welcome, Ocean Tide. But that's pretty accurate. I mean, really specific information the police had there. Was there surveillance footage maybe that would show that? Because I doubt a witness would remember, oh, well, they were backed up and then he waited and then
Well, did they say that they saw it on the video?
I didn't hear that part.
You're going to rewind it like 10 seconds and see?
I don't remember that, but.
okay. Well, I mean,
Well, we know
and then you all leave out together.
What's that name you said? I backed up, or?
Mm-hmm. You started down the drive and stopped.
I don't remember them saying
back
the
up the
video.
hill a little bit, and then I guess I don't know if you're waiting for him or what, but you all left together.
Yeah, they have,
I don't remember that, but.
Okay. Well, I mean,
we know you
At the aunt's house.
arrived together.
What's that?
they have footage from the aunt's camera.
Oh, the aunt. Okay, the aunt. That's on that same property, kind of just down. Okay.
And you left together. We know that.
which kind of leads us to the issue with the cruiser here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We got some issues.
Okay.
Okay.
You're aware that when the cruiser was taken from you, that it was actually taken to the Kentucky State Police Forensic Central Laboratory.
That's what I assumed, she would have done.
Okay. So why it's at the lab, they have you ever heard of luminol? You ever been to any kind of criminal investigation classes? All right, you know what luminol is used for?
To find blood?
Okay. Or other
Bodily fluids.
bodily fluids.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we all excrete bodily fluids, sweat, vomit, anything, saliva. All that is what would fluoresce. Why would your trunk look like a Smurf if they sprayed it? Why would it fluoresce? The trunk
It looked like Chernobyl. There's a couple spots in your trunk and that blanket on it just lit up like Chernobyl.
Why would that?
There's not going to be any blood in the trunk.
Okay, well, not say blood. I'm talking about other bodily fluids.
I don't have blood. There shouldn't be any bodily fluids in the trunk.
I mean, there's only one way bodily fluids can get into a trunk. That's if a body's nearby, right?
That's what I would assume.
Okay. Or unless, somebody puked in your trunk or something like that.
I don't think that happened.
Don't think that's the case.
Somebody peed in your trunk or.
No.
So why would that be if that blanket, when they looked at it at the lab?
I've got no explanation for that. I don't have, none whatsoever.
Blanket.
Nobody has access to
Yeah,
that
so it
car.
wasn't
You
the
drive it.
car, it was the blanket. Sounded
Yeah,
like.
and he's saying something about the trunk too.
Yeah, in his trunk. Remember the blanket was the one that was missing from, wasn't it missing
From the farm.
Yeah.
He said he had taken it to move some stuff and put it in the trunk of his car. Now they're saying that blanket, or why would that blanket light up like a Smurf?
But why would he leave that in there? See, that seems dumb. I mean, I know, people do dumb things, but you're going to leave a blanket that wrapped up
Right.
a murder victim and then leave it in your police cruiser? Maybe he thought, but why wouldn't you just put it somewhere? Like in that hole that I was talking about that's really narrow with the... Okay.
I don't know.
You put the blanket in there, you said that. If there's something on that blanket or in that car, you're the person that has something to do with it, correct?
Well, I would assume, but
Okay.
there shouldn't be
Now,
there shouldn't be anything in the trunk of the car. I don't know if somebody made that up or what the deal is, but
We're not in the business of making stuff up.
Yeah, we don't.
That's not what we do.
I'm just telling you, our job is to find out what happened. It's not to change the course of events as they happened. It's to find out what happened. So we can't change what happened in that trunk. We can't change that the test showed that there's bodily fluids in that trunk area. What we need to do is we need to find out why that's the case.
And you see where we're coming from now. We've got two of you getting there together. You say it's a coincidence. Two of you leaving together. The next day, your cruiser is found with this, the stuff in the trunk, and it's taken to the lab. It's got bodily fluid in it.
I wish I knew what to tell you guys. You guys just got to test that and let me know when you find out. There's no reason anything should be in the trunk of that car.
Did your brother ever call you and say that he'd done something to Crystal?
No, he did not.
Because here's the case. Case is, you're a police officer, we're police officers. Right? We all know how this job works. I don't believe in coincidence after having this job. I don't know if you still do or not.
Not much.
I don't, because that when somebody is sitting here talking to us and telling us that everything's a coincidence and we have either physical evidence or video or something to prove that that's not the fact, we kind of stop believing in coincidence. Now, that's the case of where we're at right here. There's too much linking you and him leaving when he leaves the police department, going down the road, both arriving together, both leaving together. There is some reason why you all went out to that farm. Now, I'm not a big fan of amnesia either, because I've heard that 20 or 30 times a week when I'm talking to people, so I don't believe people just lose their memory. I think people forget what they don't want to talk about. They hide those things. And sometimes it's a good person that does that because they're trying to protect their family or they're trying to protect themselves. But you know what? There's also bad people in this world.
Most definitely.
And those bad people intentionally lie and intentionally use those excuses, to make it harder for the police to find out what really happened, because they're deep down, they're just a bad person.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
So I don't think that we're dealing with a type of person here that's a bad person. I think we're dealing with somebody like you that's coming forward and trying to be cooperative. But then again, I think you're somebody that would protect your family in a case like this. And if your family told you something, that you would try to protect them to the best of your ability, especially since you're a police officer. Okay,
she's got kids. There's no way that I would cover this up for him.
Okay, well,
but we also have to take it. We all have family. We know how family bonds run. Family's family. You've got your work family, and you've got your real family. There's things that people have done in the name of family that have been in positions that you would just kind of scratch your head to think, well, why would they do that? But it was all out of love, for the family. You and your brothers, you grew up together. You probably rumbled on the ground together, knocking each other's heads off.
Yeah.
I've got a brother. That's what we did growing up. We took turns beating the fire out of each other.
Yeah.
But at the same point, we're at a point here, like you said, coincidences, we can throw them out the window. Not knowing exactly what time you sat down and ate dinner yesterday, that's one thing. Not remembering
that you ate dinner at all.
That's another thing.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
We've And then you add that on top of the biological evidence that's been located in the trail.
Look, we're not
That's what
asking you
stumps
hard.
me right there. I mean, I just can't believe that.
Well, we're not asking you hard questions here. As far as
Oh,
I'm not
I-
asking you, did you pull in at 7:22 p.m. on the other night? No, I'm asking you, hey, last week on Wednesday, a week from today, do you remember going out to the farm? Do you remember arriving with your brother? Do you remember leaving with your brother? What did you do while you were out there? Those aren't hard questions.
And
I'm not asking you.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't.
I mean, is it just such a routine that you go out there and just arrive at the same time and?
We both go out there a lot, you know. I mean, it is a place we hang out, you know, quite frequently.
Sure.
And you've told us that, and we believe that.
Mhm.
But we're asking you specific days a week ago, okay?
And
Have you been out to the farm since then, or is that the last time you've been out to the farm?
Since the 8th,
Since, yes, a
Well,
week ago last Wednesday.
I'm sure I've been out there since then.
Okay, have you and your brother both met out there since
No.
last? Okay, so we're asking you about the last time that you and your brother met at the farm. All right, we're not asking you for specifics about it. We're just asking if you remember both arriving there, what you did while you were there, and when you left, and why you were out there.
I don't.
I mean,
I really don't.
we're trying to make it as easy as we can for you as far as asking you questions.
Because from our perspective, I mean, we're not talking about just, coincidence y'all showing up at the same time.
See, the thing is, he knows all these tactics and everything, and all he has to keep saying is, "I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. I just don't remember. I just don't remember."
Yeah, you can't make somebody remember, and you can't convict somebody for saying they don't remember. You can't arrest them. I mean, he's just going to keep saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's what he wanted to tell Brooks. Listen, just say you can't remember a lot of everything. Then they don't have any information. But Brooks wasn't really doing that. He was just wandering around, rambling. But he did say he didn't remember certain things too. So he just doesn't have to remember anything, and he knows that that's what they're trying to get him to go. Oh, you're right. Maybe I should start talking because only bad people lie. That kind of stuff isn't going to work on him. He's just going to sit there over and over and just say, yeah, I don't remember. He does remember. There's no doubt in my mind he remembers. If he was waterboarded, he would somehow remember everything.
Yeah. All of a sudden, right?
Yeah. He remembers every damn thing that they're asking him. But he
Absolutely.
And that happens all the time at trials too, like when you have I'm just gonna throw it out there, like in the Jodi Arias case, when the medical examiner, he met with the defense attorney. I mean, not defense attorney, the prosecutor, and I think it was actually the lead detective. So they met and they talked about things, and in those meetings he had a whole different sequence of events. It was the gunshot was first and everything, but then at trial he goes, I don't remember ever talking to him. You don't remember ever talking to the lead detective.
How can you make somebody get out of that? You can't make them say that all of a sudden they do.
Oh wait, what? Come to think of it, I remember. Yeah, it doesn't happen. They just go, I don't remember ever meeting with him. So then it's just the jury's sitting there going, well, who do we believe? It got really crazy, but that happens all the time, and that's what he's doing, and he knows that that's an.
He knows it's effective and it's going to work, 100%.
So here we go.
I mean, your brother's subject of a police investigation right now that's made national news.
I'm telling you, if my brother was under the microscope right now, I would remember everything that he did, everything that we talked about, everything that we did together.
Sometimes I can't remember what happened 2 days ago. I'm being 100% honest with you.
And I understand that, but being a police officer, we kind of have to remember things.
Yeah, if you didn't write it down, if you didn't, remember it, it didn't happen, right?
Well, but I write everything down. If you look at my notes, it's all written down. I've got it. When I go testify in court, I've got the report right in front of me,
Sure.
But sometimes, I can't, I couldn't tell you what I did 2 days ago.
But work is one thing, your family is another. Mm-hmm. If something happened that was close to my family, if something happened where that I was affected by it, because
exactly.
You're affected by this, whether or not you think you are,
Oh,
you
right,
are.
right.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're wrapped up in this. Even if there's no indication of anything else, your name is the same as his, right?
I agree with
Okay, and you do police work, right?
Yes.
And this is a police investigation. So there ain't no way you're going to be able to stay out of this completely, right?
No.
Okay, so you ought to be thinking in your head, how am I going to save face with the guys I work with? How am I going to, explain this to my family? You've got to have those things going through your head. If you're a normal functioning person like we all are, then it's natural for us to feel that way. It's natural for us to be inquisitive, especially as police officers. We always want to know what's going on. We're like the neighborhood watch 24/7, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the way we are. Now, I just can't expect that you would forget all those details, being as you're a police officer and sitting here talking to you and seeing how you interact with people. I just find that very hard to believe.
I'm sorry you find it hard to believe, but that's the way it is. I mean, it's just, that's it. I mean,
a month ago, I would expect you not to remember something, but a week ago, with all this national media attention and all these questions probably being asked by people out here on the street and all these rumor mills going around, I would expect you to remember that.
but at the same time, he hadn't really came to me,
I mean, you talked on that day, he called you.
I'm sure we talked briefly, but like I said, we had.
Yeah, sorry. The chat was going by so quick, I accidentally timed out
Susie.
Mack, but I'm going to time out this idiot right here. So
I already got him.
you timed him out, or just
Yeah,
deleted the
I got
count? Okay, good. Jesus.
We haven't really discussed anything, so therefore I don't have a lot of details to give you.
Well, we're not asking you details about necessarily what he did more than details about what you did, with details about you going to the farm and him being there,
Mhm.
okay, and you all leaving, hence you being there and you leaving.
We would expect, we're just going back to this time, y'all arriving at the farm at 8:11 p.m.
Mhm.
I mean, I know it's getting to be summertime, but, that doesn't leave you a whole lot of daylight for fishing or tooling around, and it gets dark about 9 o'clock.
9:30.
So, but you're there till 11, almost 11:30.
Yeah, but with all this going on, it's just like I say, it's just a good way to go out there and get rid of some stress.
Well, what did you do to get rid of stress? I mean, what did he do to get rid of stress that night?
Y'all shoot some clay pigeons or something, or?
Like I told you before, I'll go out there, I'll ride the four-wheeler.
What's weird, he said he doesn't really even remember going there, right? But now he's remember everything. He's like, oh yeah, that's crazy, right?
I was just typing it.
Oh, really?
So they got there at 8:11. They didn't leave till about 11:30. He doesn't remember ever going there.
But now
He's never talked to his brother about any of this at all. Now, we're there to let off stress. Well, what stress? The stress that you're denying you have because you barely knew Crystal, you don't know anything about this, you haven't looked into the case, you haven't talked to your brother about the case, but you guys were there to blow off stress, but you never talked to him that night. That doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, now he's remembering all that stuff. I think he even starts talking about, it sounds like he's about to talk about what he was doing.
Ridiculous.
Religiously, I'll go to the lake, and the last hour before it gets dark, that's about the best time to go fishing.
Sure.
So I understand y'all's perspective, but you got it wrong. Dig all you can. I know you're doing your job, and I'm not. I don't hold it against you. Do what you need to do. But
Is there any reason that her DNA is going to come back in your trunk?
I'm 100% certain it won't. You're dead in the water.
Oh, jeez.
No way.
What about on that blanket?
No way.
Any hairs, fibers,
No
anything
way.
like that?
That's a weird comment to make. You're dead in the water. Like that angle isn't going to get. It's like he's combative with these detectives. I mean, that's a weird. I don't know. I think that would have pissed those guys off hearing that statement from him.
He's got a hair trigger temper too, this one. You can tell he gets really aggravated.
Oh yeah.
Especially when he's speaking to the guy about the lie detector test.
I love that one, man. I love that one.
Yeah.
No way.
Never took anything out of your trunk, is what you're saying.
I didn't.
So if we had somebody who had seen you do that, seen you take stuff out of your trunk and put it in your
They're
neighbor's
just making
trunk,
stuff up.
Why would they do that,
the
though?
coincidence of you all both arriving there at the same time, not having any kind of conversation, can't remember anything that you talked about, anything that you did at the farm, and then leaving at the exact same time.
I'm telling you, it was coincidence. I know it sounds fishy, but that's
I mean,
the way it is.
but you can appreciate how.
I can.
I mean, we're.
I mean, this isn't our first rodeo, and I'm sure this isn't your first time dealing with a criminal investigation, so you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah.
So I would even expect you to hold this to a higher standard and say, man, this is gonna, it just doesn't sound right. You know, it doesn't match up.
It's a weird case.
I mean, it is a very odd case, you know, and we're like I said, we're sitting here with, it still remains that we understand that you may not remember every single time you've been out to the farm or what you do. You know, we all have habits. Like I said, you ride the four-wheeler religiously, and fishing right before dark's the best time to go.
Yeah.
I understand that completely, but something's just not adding up here. You know.
Yeah, but patrol
1
people
plus
know
1
about
always
investigative
equals 2.
techniques.
And you look at the fact that you call him and you raise your voice to him, like you said, to tell him that he needs to be careful.
Then you meet
You know, I'm
together.
big brother. I'm gonna kind of, try to protect
Sure.
him. At the same time, I mean, I'm not gonna cover something like this up for him. I'm just not that kind of guy. And furthermore, I mean, there's no way he had anything to do with this. If something has happened to her, it wasn't because of something he did.
Do with
Again,
this.
I know you guys have got a job to do. I mean, do it, but I mean, you're wasting time.
Well, who else would be responsible for this?
I mean, I don't have any names to give you if I did. I mean,
What do you think?
What do you think happened?
I mean, she's a nice looking woman. I don't know if she got out there on the Bluegrass Parkway and somebody abducted her. I don't know what happened, but I know Brooks didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, he knew. See, that's because that's his theory. That's what his plan was. He's trying to suggest to them exactly why there was a flat tire, her phone and purse, and the key was in the ignition, because that's what he wanted to sell. But Brooks kind of forgot that when he was in his interview, right?
Absolutely. So for him to say, oh, she's a good looking woman and, she might have just got out there and this happened. Well, she has a flat tire. All her stuff is in there.
Yep.
No, not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell.
Yeah, and he's suggesting to them the theory that he staged to look like that.
Yep.
I just feel 100% certain. I mean,
But he's never denied it to you.
No. I mean, I've never asked him. I just don't feel like, I know Brooks well enough that, I know he would never do this. I'm not going to question him about it.
So you've never even asked him you never said, hey, did you have anything to do with this? Tell me you didn't have anything to do with this.
No, I've never asked him that.
Never said that.
No.
Well, I mean,
Why wouldn't you
You
ask
say
him?
you say you ride the four-wheeler religiously.
Mhm.
How often do you say you go out there?
I mean, I'm out there 2, 3, 4 times a week. I mean,
How come the cameras don't show you there a couple weeks, the 2-week period before last week?
I'm not saying I go there every week, but I'm just saying on
Religiously means every week, 2 to 3 times.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying on average, I'm probably out there a good 2, 3, 4 times a week.
But you weren't for the 2 weeks before
That
this last
doesn't,
week.
that doesn't make sense. I mean,
it
it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know what he's. It should be on the camera. You go back and look at the camera, do what you need to do. But I mean,
we have. I mean,
you say there was a 3-week period I've never been out there.
2 weeks before.
I don't believe that.
Before this last week.
I don't believe that.
Like since before the 3rd.
That's not accurate.
but you can remember going out there then, but you can't remember.
Well, I'm just saying. I just feel like I'm 99% certain that there wouldn't be a 2 or 3 week gap between going out there.
Rewind that
Yeah,
about
I need to hear
15
that.
seconds.
Yeah, I might have rewinded it more, but hey, everybody, welcome all the new channel members. Well, there's 2 of them, but you guys should consider becoming channel members, because at some point we might actually go to where the chat is only for channel members, so we can avoid the trolls, like the idiot a minute ago was talking about the police in a disparaging way, like the actual detectives there. All right?
Yeah, no, we don't talk badly about police unless his name is Nick Houck.
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
Amy,
I
that
mean,
link's not working.
What link? What link?
Sorry, the ones that Amy's dropping. You can copy the one I just did, because those aren't working for whatever reason. Did you rewind that a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what he's.
Probably too far.
It should be on the camera. You go back and look at the camera, do what you need to do. But I mean,
We have.
You say there was a 3-week period I've never been out there.
2 weeks before.
I don't believe that.
Before this last week.
I don't believe that.
Like since before the 3rd.
That's not accurate.
But you can remember going out there then, but you can't remember.
Well, I'm just saying. I just feel like I'm 99% certain that there wouldn't be a 2 or 3 week gap between going out there. Now, I don't necessarily remember going out there, but there's no way that I went 3 weeks without going to the farm. No way.
So you say you went out to the farm on the 8th, you and your brother didn't have any contact that you remember, you just went and did your own thing, even though you got there at the same time and left at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember anything that he said or anything. We just kind of passed and rode on.
He had anybody with him?
Not that I recall.
Did anybody else see you all both out there, other than the camera at the house pulling in?
I don't think so.
Because you told somebody, I think, at one point that you remember being out there that night and you and Brooks sitting there talking with your mom.
I don't remember that. I mean,
this is like a week before, right? I mean, when was this interview here? Isn't it like...
So,
I thought this was the 9th.
The biological fluids that they found in the car.
Yeah, let me...
are you for certain there's biological fluid?
Yes,
I don't remember exactly when this
Pretty
was.
sure.
Because, I
Pretty
mean,
sure.
Brooks was kind of
Or
early
could
on.
be the 15th.
Yeah, maybe it was like that, because it was...
Wait, I'm just double checking my dates here because how this guy remembers legitimately nothing is beyond me.
Yeah, like when a friend comes over to your house to pick up
15th, I
something?
apologize.
Yeah,
So
it
this
was
was the 15th, but the night they went to the house was the 9th. Right?
Yeah, that's right. So that would have been 5 days before. Well, that was right after the interrogation with Brooks, or the interview with Brooks.
Yeah, so on the 8th, the brother who's the other one, Brooks, he's interrogated. This guy calls him during his interrogation, basically telling him the guy who's interrogating him is no good. And then they go meet up, not 3.5 hours later at the family farm, which up until now, he couldn't even remember being there. No, I don't recall that. Nope, don't recall my brother being there. Then, well, we were up there because, all the stress. And they're telling him, well, he hadn't been up there for a few weeks. And he's like, oh, I don't believe that that's true. You don't even remember what happened a couple of days ago. But you know that you've been up there within the last few weeks. But they checked the cameras and he had not been up there. Now, all of a sudden, he's up there often because of all of this stuff. He's up there getting the blanket to move. He's up there meeting with his brother. He's up there again talking with the mother and the brother. He doesn't remember that conversation either. He doesn't know that. I don't know.
He doesn't remember anything that
nothing
is valuable. So the thing is everybody here, when you went, like, you might have gone to a fast food place during the week or something. Let's just say you went somewhere, and then if somebody goes, you might not remember it as you're just through the week. You just totally forgot about it because it's insignificant. But as soon as somebody said, "Hey, do you remember going to Wendy's on Tuesday?" and you go, "Oh yeah, shit, yeah, I went in there and I got," and then you'd remember everything about it because it was just that week. You'd remember it. You'd remember it as soon as you got, somebody cued you on it. This guy doesn't remember anything. I mean, he's following his brother. He does have to admit that he remembers calling. Mm-hmm. But he can't say anything about the,
No,
anything
this is
else.
not insignificant either. How would you forget?
Well, it's huge.
You know what the police are thinking about your brother. And you called him because he had been up at the police station too many hours. Mm-hmm. He was up there too long being questioned. You wanted to make sure he was safe. So when you get to your mother's farm with him, you don't ask him one question? Nothing at all?
Yeah, he doesn't remember
That's
ever
unbelievable.
talking. Yeah, yeah. So it's so ludicrous. It's. I mean, they know that he's lying. So that's the whole thing. That's probably why, he gets fired later. Is because this stuff here. It's so obvious.
Absolutely.
He's screaming at his brother, goes and meets with him, and they just ride quads to blow off steam. Yeah, forget it. That's it. But he doesn't remember.
Maybe went fishing because it's a good time to go fishing.
But he doesn't remember doing that. He just says, "That's what I would typically do."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely certain that
they wouldn't cut holes in your trunk liner and take it for further testing if it wasn't biological fluid.
When you get that car back and see that car, it's going to have stuff cut out.
Hold on a second. Let me get this one.
And that blanket lit up like Chernobyl.
That blanket ain't coming back. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's no way. That none of her biological fluids or anything's going to be on that blanket or anything. I don't know where the stuff came from, if it is there, but it's not hers.
So you never helped him move a body?
I did not.
Never helped him move any evidence?
Never.
Because, I mean, here's what we think happened.
Hold on, let me get. I want to hear this, but let me just go. Let me hear that response.
Stuff came from if it is there, but it's not hers.
So you never helped him move a body?
I did not.
Never helped him move any evidence.
That was kind of a not as committal on that part as he normally is, you know. Kind of
I did not.
a little bit of a pause.
I mean, what are you going to do if somebody says to you, Gray, did you help Chasing move a body when you guys were in Vegas at CrimeCon?
I'm gonna go like this. No. No, I'm just kidding. You know, like they do on the soap operas. I remember everybody watched soap operas back in.
So dramatically.
Yeah, right before the commercial break, somebody would say, "Did you cheat on me with so and so?" And they go,
You get this?
Yeah, boom, and buy your Snickers and they come back from the commercial break, and the guy is like, she goes, no, and they go, okay, great, and then you move on. It's like, wait a minute, you're not going to question.
You're waiting for the cliffhanger, like, wait, what?
Yeah, and you come back and
Nothing.
she says no, and you just accept it. You're not going to go, hey, remember that weird face you made in your pause for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Imagine if we could do that live on YouTube. We could do like cliffhangers and then insert an ad right there.
Oh yeah, it'd be awesome.
That'd be kind of cool. No,
Yeah,
I
right.
wouldn't do that to you guys.
Like right here, this part. Let's see.
Evidence?
Never.
Because, I mean, here's what we think happened.
Oh, insert the ad. Here's what they think happened, and
And
yes,
if you want to know, you're going to sit through this ad.
and yes, what do you think about maybe people joining this channel as a channel member?
That would be nice.
Wouldn't that be wouldn't that be amazing? We have so many people with the gray names up there.
Yeah. Turn yourself green, people.
We think that
Yes,
your brother
turn yourself
is a good guy, and we think
We're a
that
bunch
he's
of
probably a pretty good father to that boy. I mean, he's probably a pretty good boyfriend to Crystal, but we all have times where something just happens. All right, he probably found out that some other police officer or some other person in the town was cracking Crystal. And
That
when
very easily could happen.
you know, and that very easily could have happened, you know. Somebody maybe around here, I don't know. But we think that's what happened, and your brother found out about it and confronted Crystal about it, and when he did, you know, he probably tried to maybe do something to her as far as, you know, making her understand that wasn't going to fly with him.
You know, that didn't happen.
And then after that point, you know, maybe it went just a little bit too far. And when it went just a little bit too far, he couldn't turn back time. And when he couldn't turn back time, who's he going to reach out to? But the one person that he trusts and knows that would help him out, and that would be you. And when he called you or he reached out to you, you know, you heard that your brother was in a tough spot, and you being the good family man that you are, the good person that you are, you thought, well, I know this is wrong, but it's also right to take care of my brother and to keep him from going to prison for the
I can
rest of his
see you
life.
looking at things
And
that
then-
way, but
and
I
then
mean, there's no way
at
that
that
happened.
point, at that
I mean, I've
point,
done told you that, you know,
well, at that point, Nick, you know, you talk to him and he asks you to do something for him, and you try to help him out with advice all that you can, but it finally comes to a point where advice isn't good enough anymore. He actually needed somebody to help him with something. And at that point, Nick, that's when you had to actually do something that you're ashamed of and that you're not proud of, and you blocked it from your memory because you are ashamed of that. And because you're a good person, you actually have feelings, you block that out in your head. And when you block that out in your head, that's why you're having a problem remembering this stuff. But I know, you know, and Detective Vaughn here knows that something like that happened. And that's exactly what we think happened in this situation. And Nick, this is the time and the place.
This is your one
Now,
chance.
Nick, if we find out that this stuff comes back in your trunk, or if we find a body, if a hunter finds that body pretty soon, assuming, you know, that they do, it's going to be a different game. It's going to be a different ball game at that point, okay?
Well,
This
look
right
at his
now is the
face.
first inning. You know, once we find
Huh?
Look at his face. They're like, this is what we think would happen. They're leaning into him. This is him.
Yeah, he does that the whole time. Like even when the interrogation guy. But what's cool about that one is you see his face better. in
Yeah,
the,
because he's closer.
He's right
But
there.
he just keeps this weird ass smirk on constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, yeah. Mm.
Well, he knows what they're trying to do. See, the whole thing is he just has to keep saying, I don't remember. I don't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, no, he isn't like that. Don't remember. You know.
Mm-mm.
So he has this look on his face like, you guys are going to keep trying to get this out of me? You guys are crazy.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder why they did not ask either of them, and if they did, maybe I missed it. But why haven't you been out there searching for Crystal? Because I've got tons and tons of photos of the family searching and friends searching and Team Crystal searching. Nothing from either one of these two, ever.
Yeah, and like right there he says, well, she's a pretty woman and, you know, maybe she was abducted. Wow, okay. Well, how come that should really make you guys out there looking for her, right?
Right, you would think that...
Because that's not like, she didn't leave because she was cheating or anything negative. It was just she got abducted. Man, you guys should be leading the charge, especially Brooks, the mother of one of his children, or his child. He only has one, I think. Does he have any more kids now, or Brooks, or?
I don't know if Brooks had a kid with the new, the new girlfriend who has the same name and blonde hair, Crystal.
Wow.
But I'll look into that.
Wow, what are the odds of that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That out, that's closer to the 9th. We've got less time to make up ground and change what's on the scoreboard, because the scoreboard's going to be the same as it would be in the 9th inning, as it would be in the top or the bottom.
Well, the officer said that maybe she was having sex with, he said the word cracking, you know, whatever, with some other officer. Maybe Brooks found out about it. I don't know if that was something that was discovered in the investigation or why he would say that. Maybe
no, he said he thinks that it could be, you know, he said, I think she could have been, you know, with someone in the town, or maybe even an officer here.
And he found out about it. But then, that's interesting, it was a police officer, though. Why would that be the case, you know?
Yeah.
And then is Nick the one that found out about that and told, I mean, if that's something, it's sort of an odd, couldn't it have just been anybody in the town? But he said she was having an affair with another police officer, but
yeah, I think that's a strange.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
It's not going to be what it was in the first. All right, we can change the score right now, but we can't later. So Nick, this is the only opportunity that we have to sit here and find out if you're the actual honest person that we think that you are.
Well, I'm 100% honest.
And I don't deny that, Nick, but you're not being honest with us about this, okay?
Now, I've been 100% honest. Okay, and it's obvious you've got plenty of experience. I mean, you guys are squared away, but I can tell you, there's no way it happened the way you said it. It sounds logical.
It's very logical, Nick, because that's what happened.
But no, it didn't happen that way. It didn't.
Okay.
How do you know it didn't happen that way?
Nick, you can't remember what happened.
Well, he's saying Brooks did it, and I was in on it. I mean, there's no way.
Were you there? Were you able to see that Brooks didn't do it?
Well, they're getting tripped up.
I'm well enough to know that Brooks.
I know lots of people. Okay, I know troopers that I've worked with for my entire career, and guess what? They're not troopers anymore. And I thought I could say that.
Because they made a mistake.
And I thought I could say that because you know what? We're all people, no matter.
Whose birthday? What is that saying? Michelle, AKA's birthday was a couple days ago, and well, I don't. How do you pronounce that?
At the Rona.
Michelle, or was it AKA's? Is that?
That's her screen name. Yeah.
Oh.
It's Michelle, AKA. She comes into both our chats.
Well, happy birthday, Michelle, AKA's.
Is she okay?
Yeah, it seems like that. Omicron's spreading around like wildfire. It's crazy.
So quickly.
Well, happy birthday.
There she is. There she is.
Oh, I see. Oh. Yeah, I've seen that name. I was like, somehow with the apostrophe S, it just made it.
You should sing her happy birthday really quickly. Go.
Me? Oh, I got to use Mary.
You want me to teach you a really good birthday song that I heard on another channel?
Yeah,
really fast.
Okay, you can do it.
This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, I could have Mary Lou sing it.
Oh.
Wait, how do you say the name, though? Can you say it? Is it Michelle?
I don't think it's
Is it Mekaleka?
I don't think it's Mikaleka. Stop making up names.
Michelle, a.k.a. something?
I think we're reading that as Michelle, and it's not. It's just Michelle. It's definitely not Mekaleka. What?
Okay.
Why, Greg?
Oh, just Michelle. Well, I mean, but there's AKA at the end. Okay.
Well, she's also known as other
Happy birthday to Michelle, aka Happy birthday to Michelle, aka Happy birthday, dear Michelle. Happy birthday to you.
And many more. All right, there you go.
Oh my, what you see what happens? Thank you, Beck Girl. Oh.
Yeah, we had to get Mary Lou from. I have a picture of Mary Lou somewhere, but.
Oh, I'm so sure you do, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move right
No
on.
matter what this says, no matter what we go to church and say on Sunday, no matter what that we appear like, everybody is a person, and every person can change in a heartbeat.
Well,
Whether they choose to or not, sometimes things just happen. We make mistakes.
I haven't made any mistakes, and I have been 100% honest.
Well, Nick, I don't disagree that you hadn't made any mistakes in your career, maybe, but in this, there's been some mistakes made. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Because when you start thinking with this goes out the window. Logic goes out the window.
Man, all I can tell you is, I mean, Brooks is a good guy. He didn't have anything to do with this. Obviously, I'm hoping for the best and expecting the worst because I'm a police officer. I hope she walks in his front door anytime, but at the same time, I mean, she's been gone for a while. She hadn't made contact with the kids.
Well,
You guys got
it's national media attention. We know that she's not just out walking around in the public somewhere because somebody would have called us.
Yeah.
All right, it's been all over the news.
Or she would have seen
Now,
it and at least
her-
called here and said, hey, I'm okay.
She wouldn't have any way to get money. She wouldn't have any way to call anybody. Okay,
Yeah.
so the assumption of what you're talking about, assuming the worst, I think we can say that's logical to think right now.
If she had a flat tire, she would have used her cell phone
to call somebody. Her cell phone.
It makes sense.
Her cell phone.
It makes sense.
Her cell phone's dead out there. There's nobody calling to ask for help.
Mhm.
She didn't call. Now, Crystal's not the type of person, from what I know of her, and I've done a lot of background, she's not the type of person that's going to get out, get the spare tire out, get the jack out, change the tire, and nothing be out there on the scene. But
Yeah, I don't think she would have changed the tire either.
Okay.
She called somebody.
She would have called somebody.
Mhm.
Okay, she would have called her boyfriend. She would have called her mom, her mom, dad. She would have called the police, called 911. I don't know. Maybe even would have called you. I don't know. But she would have called somebody.
And you know,
I think so.
And she didn't do that. And
you-
she didn't do that.
You know as well as we do, Bluegrass is not very heavily traveled. At that time of night, after 10 o'clock, you might see a car every minute or two.
Yeah. Man, I can appreciate the job you guys are doing. I mean, I'm not,
But
I mean,
Nick,
I want you to
we're
be-
not just doing a job though, Nick. We're trying to find out for the 4 kids. She got 4
Yeah,
kids,
you
right?
know, four- is it
4 or
four or
5,
five?
maybe
4 or
5. Okay, she's got 5 kids. We're trying to find out for them because it's not fair for them to not know what happened to their mom.
I'm with you
And
100%.
that's why we're here. We're not here to get anybody in trouble. I mean, that's part of our job. We
Well
got to
said.
arrest people. We got to put them in jail. But our main job, or what I come to work for, is to solve these crimes,
Mhm.
to give people answers. All right, and I'm not going to waste my time on something that's not worth it. So I wouldn't be here talking to you, Nick, if I thought this was a waste of time. And when you said it's a waste of time, I don't think
Well,
you
I think
understand that.
I think the
Okay,
time
this
would be,
is not a waste of time.
I think the
Okay?
time would be better spent somewhere else. I mean,
Well,
that's all I'm.
We're at.
I think the time would
I'm
be
not-
better spent right here if we just all started telling the truth.
Well,
if
I
we
know,
all started talking.
I know I'm telling the truth.
Well,
Are you
Nick-
telling the truth?
Nick, I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
But what I need you to do is I need you to remember those things that you say that you can't remember. Okay? Whether it's damning towards your brother, whether it's damning towards somebody else, there's a reason why those aren't coming forward. Okay? There's a reason.
There is a reason. You know what it is?
Well, if you can't remember it, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
that's not a very good reason.
Well,
You know that. You know that in your heart. You know that's not
It
a
may
good
not be
reason.
a good reason, but it's the truth.
Well, it's not a good reason.
Okay. Well, then,
And we're thinking of reason and logic in this room. You've already mentioned it twice. Yes, that's logical. Yes, that makes sense.
Mhm.
All right, those are the kind of things that we use as investigators, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And then you added the addition, the dog indicating on your car. Let's take it to the lab. Biological fluids are found in the trunk of your car where there shouldn't be anything.
There shouldn't be. There's not going to be. Shouldn't be. There's not going to
Well,
be.
there is. I mean, there's no disputing it. There is biological fluid in the trunk of your car.
The dog wouldn't have hit on the quarter panel in the trunk if there wouldn't have been something in there. We wouldn't have sent it to the lab if the dog didn't hit on it. The lab wouldn't have tested and sprayed luminol and it came back looking like a Smurf if there wasn't something there. There's, if just the dog hit on it, maybe the dog had something up its nose that day, okay? But when you take it and you put it and you spray it at the lab, that's two different things that are verified there's something in
And the
that
guy
car.
that had the car before you was a neat freak. I mean, it
Yeah.
was probably spotless when you got it, wasn't it?
Are you hearing
I mean,
this?
the other thing you got, when speaking about logic, I mean, who would do this?
Yeah, I just have the volume off. What do you? I mean, not the volume.
I mean, he's saying, and then there's all of this found in your car, and he was like, no, there's not. And he was like, no, this is not indisputable. There is.
Yeah, so they're saying.
And the dog hit on it.
Well, they're saying
so
that
you
they
got
had
the
got it.
blanket, the dog. They had a cadaver dog, and the cadaver dog jumped into the back of that truck, car.
Well, what's weird is if that was true, and it was, Crystal's DNA on the blanket, then he'd be in prison right now, all of them. So I think that to me, he seemed absolutely sure that, because he planned this whole thing, right? He was like, there's no way, because he knows how he planned it. So it's weird to me.
Yeah.
And let's say, I mean, it sounds like they really did find biological fluid, but what did it turn out to be?
I don't know, but I do know that a cadaver dog jumped into the trunk of that car, of his vehicle, right? I'm pretty sure, I'm positive on that. And maybe that was after, but no, he's saying the dog hit on it. Maybe the dog had something up his nose, but there's all this too.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's just weird because what they're saying here would lead you to believe that he should have been at least arrested at one point.
you'd hope.
And maybe
yeah.
a grand jury didn't. But how could a grand jury not indict him if he had a blanket in the trunk of his car with all this other circumstantial information? That would be hardcore physical evidence that actually pointed right to Crystal. Like if her, if it was urine or anything else of Crystal inside the trunk of his vehicle, and he's seen going out there at 8:30 at night following Brooks out there after he had called him during his interrogation. I would, if I was on a jury, I'd say, oh yeah, he has something.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm looking more into that here. I'm in the Facebook group, the official Facebook group. I'm just looking around to see if I find anything else. But the police cruiser. Yeah, they were. Blanket and bodily fluids, water, grass, weeds were found in his police cruiser.
Weeds, huh? Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's interesting. I actually remember this now when they were saying that they definitely had it. The Smurf comments. That's sort of like the classic, luminol statement. Oh, it lit up like a Christmas tree, or Smurf, blue everywhere. Want me to keep playing it?
Yeah.
A city-maintained cruiser.
Well,
I mean, who would do that?
What better way to go undetected?
I disagree, man. I just disagree with that.
What better way to go undetected? Who's going to stop the police?
See, he just said what I was saying. Like, who would put that in a...
that's two different things that are verified. There's something
And
in
the
that
guy
car.
that had the car before you was a neat freak. I mean, it
Yeah.
was probably spotless when you got it, wasn't it?
But, I mean, the other thing you got, when speaking about logic, I mean, who would do this in a city-maintained cruiser?
Well,
I mean, who would do that?
What better way to go undetected?
I disagree, man. I just disagree with that.
What better way to go undetected? Who's going to stop a police car?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'm the Bluegrass. How
No,
many people
no one's going to do
Who's
that.
going to stop a truck that's been followed by a police car? Nobody.
Who's going to think anything if they see a police car on the side of the road?
I mean, a better thing at that time for Nick to say was, well, if it's true, why would somebody leave the blanket in the cruiser? Like, maybe the cruiser was used, but why would they leave that in there? Wouldn't they have got rid of it or burned it somewhere?
See your side of it. I guess there's flip sides to everything,
But
but
who's going to think of anything if they see a police car on the side of the Bluegrass Parkway behind a car with a flat tire? You know, dropping a car off on the interstate. Nobody's going to think anything of it. They're going to say, well,
I mean,
it's
you're
a
right.
delay.
I can't deny it, you know, but you're wrong. I mean,
Well, you tell me that you're telling the truth, and that's what you're maintaining, right?
most definitely.
And you're telling me you want to be cooperative. That's why you're here, right?
Yes.
Okay. What about taking a polygraph exam? You took one to become a police officer. I took one to become a police officer. Didn't you take one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Now we know that your brother went up there and took a polygraph. Okay. He didn't fail the polygraph. All right. We didn't say he failed the polygraph.
Mhm.
They said that the polygraph was inconclusive, which means it's neither pass nor fail. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if they can't get 100% accurate reading, they're not going to make a judgment on it, right? Because they're being fair. All right. Inconclusive doesn't mean anything. It just means inconclusive.
It's like flocking two cars. If you can't tell which one was the one you're getting ready to write a ticket for speeding, you're not going to write that.
Yeah.
You don't pull them
Yeah,
up
I
unless
don't-
you're 100% sure.
I don't mind to take the polygraph. I mean, I really don't.
Okay. So
but
you'd take a polygraph and say the exact same thing if they ask you on the polygraph. If they said, Nick, did you have any involvement with the disappearance?
I'd say no because I didn't.
Okay. And if they said, Nick, did you have any knowledge of her disappearance? What would you say?
No.
Okay. Now, if they ask you, did you load that body up into the trunk of your Bardstown
Say
City
no.
Cruiser?
No.
Okay. So, pretty easy test, wouldn't it be?
Sounds like it.
Okay. You be willing to do that?
How'd you do on it? How would you do on it?
I think I'll pass it with flying colors. I've got nothing to hide.
How about anybody else? I mean, did Crystal, do you think Crystal would have known something that she shouldn't have known, and that's probably why she went missing? If you don't believe the story about him getting, maybe a little physical with her maybe one time, do you think she could have known something?
What's
About
that
your
down
brother?
here? Back up a little bit. I'm not following you.
Okay. Well, you said you don't believe the story that he maybe got a little physical with her.
No, I don't think Brooks has ever been physical with her.
Now, what about Brooks? He's got a lot to lose. I mean, he's got a pretty nice life, it seems like. I mean, he's doing pretty well for himself. What if she had some information that would turn his life upside down?
There you go.
He was still, no matter what she had, he wouldn't have done anything like this.
Okay. Now, what if she had information on somebody like you or somebody else? What would you say about that?
I don't know where you're going. Information. What kind of? What do you think?
I mean, what if she knew something about you that you didn't want anybody
You mean
else
like
in
Ellis?
the world to know?
Uh,
Or anybody,
Like your
not just
Facebook?
you. I mean,
and what?
Brooks.
And if she
Huh?
did, what do you ask?
Do you think that might have been what happened? I mean, is that
Check
more
your
logical
messenger.
than him getting a physical altercation with her? What's more logical?
I mean, did she pop off and say, well, I know you're dirty, you're doing this and this to these tenants, or you're doing X, Y, and Z to this, and he just,
He ever say anything like that to you?
No.
He never mentioned anything about her making stuff up about
Oh, is
it,
that from the show?
No.
That Luminol
telling her
thing?
friends anything?
so obviously we've gone down that, it's not a logical explanation in your mind.
Like that?
I
Like
don't
that?
think so.
And
Smurf.
like him,
Yeah.
I think
So
what
let's
happened
just
is
tell
it was
the
something
guys
he
what
was
that is. So if
Apparently,
you haven't seen the Oxygen series that was done on Crystal's case, a couple of people took screenshots there of the trunk, the alleged trunk that lit up like a Smurf. So that's what that was there. I'm reading a bunch of other things right now as well in the Facebook group about.
do we know that on the
These
Oxygen
fellas.
show that wasn't just sort of like a reenactment of what it might look like? I mean, it'd be kind of weird if the police would give Oxygen a case that's active an image of the luminol.
Well, I can tell you that the Kentucky Standard newspaper, I don't know if this is a very reliable, I don't know. Could it be? Is this reliable? I don't really know, but allegedly there's some information in there. But one of the things that I did not know about was Brooks had confronted Crystal about her having an affair the night of July 3rd while the two of them were at the family farm. Where'd that come from?
Well, wouldn't that have been their date night? That would be date night.
Yeah, but I mean, is that just some alleged
Yeah, see.
theory that somebody came up with?
Well, it's interesting because that seems to be what the officer sort of
It's
alluded
saying.
to.
Yeah.
And he was specific about an officer having an affair.
Yeah, he says, we all have times where something just happened. He probably found out that some other police officer or some person in the town was cracking Crystal.
Right.
That could very easily happen. So your brother finds out about it, confronts Crystal about it, and when he did, he probably tried to do something to her, make her understand that that's not going to fly. At that point, maybe it just went too far. He couldn't turn back time, and when he couldn't, who's he going to reach out to? The one person he trusts and knows will help him out, and that would be you.
Wait, so did he not
That
say?
to me is a theory.
Yeah, that was the theory he just read a minute ago. But I
Yes,
didn't
that's
hear.
exactly what I was just repeating.
I
yeah.
didn't hear the mention of police officer though. So maybe I misheard that before. Did he say that at the
No,
beginning?
you did. You said police officer.
No, but did he say that though? Just now in that quote?
He absolutely did. Yeah,
Oh.
he said, we all have times when something happens. He probably found
Disconnected, but it's gonna there it reconnected again. Okay.
Oh.
So now we're back on. Okay, so he does say that. All right. So I did hear it right.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't really have dementia. It's amazing.
No, you don't.
Well, maybe I do, but it's mild. Okay.
It's just mild. Okay. How much longer is this one, Greg?
We all get in the heat of the moment, and
Looks like
shit
maybe
happens.
8 minutes, maybe
Shit
6
happens
minutes.
that we can't take back, that we wish we could.
Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, I know nothing like that happened, and I mean, you guys are kind of going over the same stuff. I mean,
Well, I mean,
if I'm gonna tell you, if I could help you in any way with the investigation, I would. I mean, I'm just that kind of guy. You know, she's got kids. There's no way that I could deal with something like that and just cover it up.
Well, what about Brooks? You know, what about him?
What about it?
Is he that type of person, or is he
I
the type
think-
of person that could? I mean, everybody's different. You know,
No, I don't. There's no way he can do something like that. He's not capable of it.
Not
would he be
capable.
capable of asking
Well,
somebody
he
else?
broke
to do
his
something like
daughter's, hand.
Brooks isn't gonna hire that out. I
Or
mean, it's
not
just-
daughter,
it's-
but,
there's just no way he had
whatever
anything to
you
do
call
with it.
that? What about he rents a lot of property? I'm sure he rents to some shady people.
Oh, I bet he does.
Ever found any indoor grows or anything in any of his properties?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, you know they do that around here a lot. You know,
Oh,
rental
yeah, most
properties.
definitely.
Meth labs, anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, Nelson County's full of dope. I mean,
Any chance that he'd be involved in something like that?
no way. Brooks doesn't fool with any kind of drugs. He doesn't drink. No way.
I mean, there's certain people that are involved in that kind of stuff that aren't, aren't involved in it
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're in it for the money.
Yeah, but he's not. I mean, he makes plenty of money.
What do you think should happen to somebody? Say they killed somebody in the heat of the moment.
That's the standard question. They want to see if the person will diminish the crime because they're the criminal. So they'll say, I don't know, maybe, I'd have to see, and they try to, they want you to say, I want to put to death, right?
That's
Because-
exactly what happened with Don Wells.
Yeah, they always ask that same question. That's exactly right, but that's a standard question to see how you respond to it. And so in this case right here, I think he answers it correcely, I think.
Let's
It's
see.
kind of they didn't really mean to.
I think they're just as guilty as somebody that killed him anyway. Yeah, I don't have any patience for that kind of crap. I mean, she's got kids and stuff, and I mean, anybody that could have anything to do with her disappearance or possibly kill somebody, man, they need to be dealt with.
No, he doesn't
What
really.
about somebody that comes in after the fact that didn't have anything to do
Like
with,
you,
with
Nick.
the killing or the disappearance? And
And I think they're just as guilty.
Ah,
do you think any of them should be given a second chance?
No, I don't believe in second chances.
see, he's getting the right answer.
I mean, I'm a pretty conservative guy, on a lot of issues, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, anybody to do anything like that, we don't need them here on Earth.
Like what?
So if Brooks did do this, you feel the same way.
See, here's what's interesting about this a little bit is he's implying his response is that she's dead, because he's saying if she's just responsible for her being disappearing, that would be like, well, she's still alive, blah 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 blah. But he doesn't say that. He goes right to, well, they shouldn't be on this earth, because he knows in his mind that she isn't alive, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting.
Most definitely.
If Brooks did it, he'd be dead to you.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have another thing to do with him. I mean, anybody that's that despicable and just disregard the kids, and I mean, that's a pretty nasty person. About as bad as it gets.
Even if there was a reason, if that person thought they had a reason.
Pretty nasty.
I can't think of one reason in my head that could justify something like that.
If somebody, you know, we obviously have to go through our lives thinking different than other people. As police officers, you know we might kill somebody every day we come to work.
It's a possibility.
But that's only if somebody's going to try to kill us first.
Exactly. Now that's obviously self-defense. I mean,
that's a difference. Okay.
Yes.
But having that same mentality, you know, did Crystal and him have ever had any problems? Maybe where she could have done something to him where he had to defend himself, and then
I don't really know of any instance like that, or the incident y'all brought up about her seeing some other dude. I mean, I really didn't.
I can say fairly sure, certainly, that she was seeing other people.
You know, she may have. I mean, I didn't really know her that well. I can't tell you you're wrong. You know.
Now your brother, you know, has he ever been known to run around on girls?
I don't think he's ever ran around on her. I can't say that he's never cheated on a girlfriend, but I mean,
Well, your brothers, you've probably seen some things or heard some things in the past, but
I don't remember.
yeah, as far as Crystal,
Not that I'm aware
he wasn't
of.
running around on her.
no.
Well, they
Why
said
weren't
she
they
definitely
married?
was seeing
Why didn't
somebody
they get
else.
married? You ever talk about
Who
marrying
did?
her?
Well, I mean, as far as
They
I know,
just
she
said that
was
now.
married to.
I guess I missed
was it
that. I was
Keith
listening
Rogers
to
or
what he
whoever
was
it
saying.
was?
Let me hear it. Here we go.
I mean, I didn't really know her that well. I can't tell you you're wrong. You know.
Now your brother, you know, has he ever been known to run around?
No, it was
on
right
girls?
before that. Yeah.
I don't think he's ever ran around on her. I can't say that
I
he's
just want
never
to hear
cheated.
the wording of it.
Did Crystal and him have ever had any problems? Maybe where she could have done something to him where he had to defend himself, and then
I don't really know of any instance like that, or the incident y'all brought up about her seeing some other dude. I mean, I really didn't.
I can say fairly sure, certainly, that she was seeing other people.
You know, she may have. I mean, I didn't really know her that well. I can't tell you you're wrong. You
Wow,
know.
so there you go.
Now your brother, you know, has he ever been known to run around on girls?
I don't think he's ever ran around on her. I can't say that he's never cheated on a girlfriend, but I mean,
Well, your brothers, you've probably seen some things or heard some things in the past, but yeah, as far as Crystal, he wasn't running around on her.
no.
Why weren't they married? Why didn't they get married? You ever talk about marrying her?
Well, I mean, as far as I know, she was married to, was it Keith Rogers or whoever it was? I mean, I think they, you know, at one time they were talking about, you know, trying to get her divorced from him, but as far as either one of them running around, I don't believe that was the case. That's what I believe. But like I said, I wasn't around her a lot, and I can't tell you that you're wrong.
He might be saying that because maybe that is a motive, but he's saying, I don't believe that. Because,
Yeah, I don't know about any of that stuff.
Yeah, but maybe he absolutely knows about that.
I mean, it's crazy because Nick seems to have so many answers. So for him not to know that, I'm baffled. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like he hasn't said, I don't know, for the past hour and a half to every single thing. He doesn't know. He doesn't know her. He doesn't know. He just doesn't know.
He doesn't know anything.
I don't think he knows.
Well, when could you take the polygraph exam?
I'll be off the next few days, so I mean,
So, I mean,
if that's something.
if we got one set up for tomorrow, or got one, well, it's kind of late now to set one up tomorrow, but maybe if we got one set up for the next couple of days, would that be something that you could do?
Why don't we just shoot for Monday?
Well, what if they're, you know,
What is today?
today's Wednesday, so we got Thursday and Friday still before they close down for the weekend.
Okay.
And
Well,
it all depends on their availability.
Yeah, I mean, they
Well,
might
let's
have,
I mean, I've got a lot of stuff going on. I just moved and everything. Let's just try to shoot for Monday, and if that'll make you guys happy, then I'll be more than glad to do it.
Well,
I don't have a problem with it.
The thing about it is, you know, we go up there, take the test. You're telling us that you're being honest,
Yes,
right?
100%.
And you're 100% on that.
Mhm.
Now, you know that I've sat here and talked to people in that same seat that you're in right now
Mm-hmm.
that have told me they're being 100% honest, and later on I find out they're not.
Yeah,
Okay, is that a fair assessment?
most definitely.
Okay, so you sitting in the chair that I'm sitting in right here, and somebody sitting there in your chair telling you that same thing.
I'm skeptical as you are. I'm probably more skeptical.
The polygraph is something that can help us. It's a tool. We don't use it in court, but it's a tool.
Yeah.
All right. just
If
like
that makes you
looking
feel,
in.
you know, whatever does it for you, it'll be fine.
But agreeing to do that now, you're not going to change your mind later.
No, I'll do
you're
it for you.
you're
I'll do
going
it
to
for
be
you.
a man of your word, and you're
You can see how he could pass a test.
But he's lying to them right here.
Yeah, and like
Right now.
you can tell.
Like, oh yeah,
he's
no, we're
relaxed.
gonna-
Don't you think he could just pass that polygraph test in his?
I
like this?
do, but unfortunately, we know what happened, don't we?
Yeah, Well, it's weird. We don't really, here's the thing is we don't ever really know if anybody passes or not. You know how they use, it was inconclusive to still put them on their heels,
I mean, I didn't know you had to take one to, so it's very interesting to me that you have to take one to be on the force, state police or local police. You've got to take a polygraph. Then when there are suspects in a crime, you also you don't have to take one, but they ask you to take one. But then they're not
usable. Yeah, not
you
admissible.
you can't use them in court.
Yeah,
Don't you think that's a little odd? I mean, they're using them as such a tool.
I think it's sort of like one of those things where it's like scent dogs. They're not 100% accurate at all. They're not even close.
Right.
So you got these scent dogs, but they're a good tool because they do work. Let's say even if they're 50% accurate, a scent dog. Well, that's awesome. So maybe polygraphs are 70% or something, but there's still that other 30%, and it's not good enough where it's an absolute fact because there's too many people. There's people that have been inconclusive that didn't do the crime at all. So how'd that happen?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're going to take
You got
polygraph
it.
if we said yes. Yes, sir.
This is almost done here.
Hang tight.
Yep, we'll be right back. All right. Do you want anything to drink?
No, just be wrapping it up though, because I'm fixing to get out.
Okay.
Oh, a yawn even. So here he goes. He gets back in his little position again and just starts staring. See, this goes on for, I mean, I can scrub through it, but... So there you go. Watch the clock up there. So it was another 5...
Yeah, all they're trying to do now
Well, now
is
he's-
just schedule the polygraph, which he does not end up showing up for on the day that he promised. And he says the reason he's not showing up is because he's not on duty that day, so he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
So they have to reschedule it. And you want to play the polygraph outcome, or
Car so we can get out of here.
I don't know how long that is, but
Can you think
Yeah, we
of
can
anything
start
else I need
playing
to
that
ask
one.
you or anything else that's
I
important?
mean, I think you did a good job, I mean, I can commend you for that. You seem like a pretty squared away dude.
Well, I just want to make sure that we cover everything because obviously there might be a second opportunity for us to sit down and talk. I mean, if you remember something that's different between now and then,
If you
I'll
got
set up that
if you-
polygraph exam, and I mean, I'm sure we can talk for a minute or two before after that if we need to. If something's different.
If you got a card, I'll be more glad to call you if something
I'll
comes
get
up.
it.
I mean,
All right, so you ready to roll? Yeah. All right.
Oh, there he goes. So do we want to start this one, or how long do you have, like, before you have something you have to do?
how long is this one here?
Well, this one goes on, it's, it's also, I don't know, 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, I won't be able to do 45. I can do a little bit. I mean, unless you want to.
I mean, I could still hang
I have
out.
a bug.
I could just play it. I mean, we don't have to have commentary or whatever.
Yeah, no. I can be here for a little bit. I'm gonna run down, let them in, and then I'll be right back up. But I won't be able to stay on that long.
Okay, but I can play.
If you're here, you're the so mean part.
Well, it's true.
You don't need the allegedly one.
Or we could do where this is the next episode.
We could do the cliffhanger.
Yeah,
Be like, if you really want to know what was said, you've got to come back on Sunday.
yeah, there you go. We could do that.
Dun, 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 dun.
But there.
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
they're like, let's go, do it. Please play it all. All
yeah.
right, I'll be right back. Anyway, I got to run downstairs.
Okay, all right. Want me to start playing it? Okay. I knew it. She was gonna put her thumbs in there. I knew it. Yeah. All right, here we go. I might actually, let me see where these guys are
Did
sitting.
not pass the test, and it's pretty clear to me that you haven't told me the complete truth today.
So yeah, he says you haven't passed the test. Let me zoom in similarly. There. Is that better for everybody? Okay.
The questions you're having a problem with are questions about Crystal. And in particular, the one about whether or not you know where she is right now. And I treat police officers in these circumstances like I would myself, so we're not going to go through all the interview interrogation nonsense. You and I are on the same page. But again, I'm also going to tell you the complete truth as we're sitting here. And it's no longer a matter of wondering, do you know anything about what happened? We're past that now. I mean, I'm crystal clear with you. I give everybody a good, fair test. I'm no longer asking you if you know. You do. Now, what you want to do with that is entirely up to you. I'm going to yell and scream at you and get the Sipowicz phone book and all that. I'm talking to you man to man as a fellow law enforcement officer. That the time has come for you to think real hard about the rest of your life. Okay? This is you. I'm not talking about Brooks or anybody else. And I'm telling you facts of life. I'm an old guy. I'm not trying to be a father figure here, but I'll tell you, in doing this for 25 years, the way that this pans out. When the FBI gets involved in this investigation, I want you to listen to one thing. You don't have to say anything to me. You do whatever you want to do. As I said, you may never even be an FBI agent, right? But once you get on the radar, we don't go away, unless there's a reason to. I thought there would be. You didn't pass this, and there's some other information there as well. So I guarantee you we're not going away. All right? The FBI has unlimited resources in terms of forensic information, electronic information, many bodies as we want to pour out here to do surveillance and look through everything that's ever gone on. We will find Crystal.
See, when I listen to this, I know, I mean, Nick absolutely is involved, but when I listen to this guy, I look at Nick and he's just going, yeah, this whole game isn't going to work. And it gets to a point where it's sort of ludicrous. I thought this guy was terrible. I thought this FBI guy here was just not good at all. And that's my opinion. Doesn't mean... See, what's weird is when you say you didn't think somebody was good, and everybody is against Nick, because I am, everybody is, but you go, see, Gray, he's defending Nick. No, I'm not. I just think this guy sucked, okay? And I don't know why, or, when you listen to it, you'll just see how it's just not working at all, and it's, it's crazy.
I have zero doubt about that. It's a matter of when it's going to be and why. And inevitably, what's going to happen is one of a couple of things. We'll determine exactly if she's injured and dead, which she in likelihood is. You've come to that conclusion yourself. Mm-hmm. The way that happened and the means in which it happened. Now, I know what your relationship is with your brother. It's a tight relationship, but in a unique kind of way. You have a little different relationship, and it's actually, again, not trying to make comparisons, similar to what mine and my brothers are. They're close, but in a very different way.
A connection.
And
a connection.
No doubt in my mind that
Let's
you've
bond.
spoken with him about what happened. You know essentially what happened. And whether or not it was something staged out and planned in terms of I'm going to make her go away, or if it was something that was, I hesitate to say an accident, but something that was not intended to do. My hunch is, I don't know, because I don't have the physical evidence in front of me to know, but 99% of the time in these, it's something that was not intended, a push, a shove, somebody trips, hits her, or whatever. Have no idea. We find her, we're going to know, no doubt about it. And we will. And at that point, they're no longer going to come and ask you what happened. They're no longer going to come and ask Brooks what happened.
Yeah, we're going to find him. There's no doubt about that. But at that point, they're not going to ask you what happened. They're going to. So this is your one chance, Nick, to finally come forward.
They're going to know what happened. And they're going to prosecute, assuming a worst-case scenario, because everybody had an opportunity up front to say, whoa, time out. It's a horrible, horrible thing. I got scared. Let me just tell you what happened. Nobody's going to want to hear that anymore. Because all your testimony in the grand jury, all of his in the grand jury, the interviews that were recorded, where there are demonstrable lies about things that were said, that's all I'm put in front of a jury and or a judge, even in the system. And people are going to look at it in the totality and say, well, now they're saying it was some kind of an accident or they didn't intend for it to happen. Why didn't they just say that? last month, last year, 5 years ago, whenever it may be. And what's going to end up happening is people end up getting prosecuted, and they look for the most significant sentences they can for people. And then people start cutting deals, and who's going to get the reduced sentence and blah, blah, you know how that all works. Point is, at that point, it's out of everybody's control. If we're going to get involved as the FBI and expend all these resources, then we're going to just assume the worst and go forward. If at this stage, however, and I'm just giving you the facts to lay out, these are not things, I have no doubt you've pondered this since the very first day this all occurred. But I want you to refresh it in your mind. You think about it however you want to.
Well, he might look relaxed, but this isn't the polygraph test. He's already taken it. He wouldn't need a Xanax for this one. He could just be Nick.
What everybody that I've talked to believes is this was something that was not a planned out murder for hire type thing or that nature. It was about a relationship and something that happened, flared up. Like you were, how many domestics you
That's right, Jessica
You know,
Schumacher.
people don't plan those out. Sometimes you see a pattern of behavior. That doesn't appear to be the case here. That's why I asked you about their relationship, and others have as well. Nobody's pointing to saying it's that kind of relationship. Again, I'm not going to lay out all the evidence that's sitting there right now, and there's plenty of it. And I don't know the additional evidence that's going to come out as this goes forward, because we're just getting started on an awful lot of things. But rest assured, it's all going to be laying on a table where you can now point and say, okay, this is it. And whether it be a circumstantial type of a case where it's just you put together the totality and it's so overwhelming that there is only one conclusion that a jury can draw, that's probably how this is going to work out. Unless somebody wants to step up and be a man and say, look, here's the deal. This is what happened, and make it better. I can tell you, 25 years of doing this, it always works out for the best, and that's what happens. People aren't going to come. You know the deal. Once you've interviewed a lot of people in your career, I'm
A few
quite sure, more than a few, I would bet. You've been in law enforcement 11. An interview can be as simple as talking to people or traffic stuff, right? You know people is my point. And in talking to those people, you pretty much know what happens. You've been around kids before. You know, if you ask them a question and they say something, you know it pretty much right away. Well, that's what I do, kind of on steroids. And I mean, it's obvious. Looking at your interviews before, it was already obvious that you're not being truthful about some things. Okay? To me, it was equally obvious that you're not somebody that had a major role in anything that happened as far as her disappearance immediately. There could be some other issues and factors there. I don't know, but that's my assessment. But when we start talking about her, where she is right now, when somebody fails a polygraph, the reason I did the test like this, you saw that numbers test, right? When I had you write the number 5 and I had you tell me that you didn't write it, and it jumps off the screen that you're telling me the truth. There's areas right off of that list you did the exact same thing. And you know where they are. And what that is a guilty knowledge test. That's what I call it. And what that is your heart and your mind betraying what your body knows to be the truth. My master's degree is in forensic psychophysiology, which means the mind and the body interacting to determine truth in an interview setting. That's what I do. This is actually admissible in court because it's scientifically valid. So when I say you know more than what you told me, I'm not guessing that. Okay? And when I tell you, polygraph, you didn't do well. I don't show people the chart. I don't show it. You probably don't care, but just so you know the facts. That's results on your test. Deception indicated. 100%. And then greater than 99. What's greater than 99? 100, right? What are the questions? Do you know where Crystal is right now? Are you hiding any information about what happened to Crystal? Okay. You didn't tell me the truth on both of those questions. So, I'm telling the truth. I'm not going to sit here and make up a bunch of stuff and try a bunch of read techniques with you. We're past that. So the cat's out of the bag as far as your guilty knowledge of what happened here. And again, I'm not going to play the games with you as the detective doing all the read stuff and everything else. I'm telling you, it's two individuals who know the way investigations work, what the facts are. And the time is now, today, to start fixing this problem. We can talk all about Crystal and how we need to get her a proper burial and her family needs closure and her son needs closure, and all those things are true. But you know that. But you're a realist. You deal with them the today and the going forward. You even kind of said that basically in an interview the other day. People were concerned about why isn't Brooks acting differently with what's happened here? You know, his girlfriend, mother's child is missing and he's happy-go-lucky essentially. Well, people react to things in different ways, and I get that. That's why I say your relationship with him is a little different than others. It's a close relationship, but it's different than others might perceive. I'm the same way. It's an introvert's way of dealing with things. Introvert doesn't mean shy. It means you deal with things from an internal locus. We all do. I'm very much that way, so I get that.
Yeah, Nick doesn't need to lawyer up because he doesn't say anything. I mean, he just...
Yeah, normal people would think, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
They think I did this. Maybe I need a lawyer.
Yeah.
He's like this the entire time.
Yeah, he knows what the game is, you know, what they're doing. And
He doesn't care.
you know, I think they're absolutely onto something there, but he knows what to say and what not to say. So he's trying to make, if he lawyered up, it'd make him look in their minds way more guilty. Even though they already think he's guilty, he'd look even worse.
Yeah.
But he knows how to get past all that. You know.
But that's why I'm not going to go into all these things about getting her a proper burial in the family and getting her back so that her son can visit the grave and all that. We all know that to be true, and you've already thought about that. You're dealing with that internally. What you're dealing with going forward is you, and more importantly, your brother. Your role in this, I'm assuming, because I wasn't out there to see exactly what you did or didn't do.
Was nothing.
Well, I'm not even asking you.
Okay, well, go ahead. I mean,
You did. I've already shown you, so I'm not asking you if you did or didn't. You did.
Okay.
And we both know that.
See, that's the part that doesn't work. You know, he's like, oh, yeah, no, you did do something, but you know, we're past it. He goes, no, I didn't. No, I mean, we're not, you know, we're past that part. We already know that you did it, and it's so lame to me because it's not going to work. There's never going to be a point where Nick would say something like, okay, God, you got me. You're right. All right. I mean, I was trying. And it just,
Well, you can tell it's not going to work because if they did have what the FBI guy's saying they have, then he would have been arrested already. They wouldn't be going through all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's for a lot. I'm not trying to be punny, but it's crystal clear, right? What happened here? Now, the details of who did what when. Can I tell you exactly? No, but I can demonstrably point out through forensic evidence already the things that you told us about where you were at various times are demonstrably not true. We can prove in front of a jury today that you were places that you said you weren't. That's just one example. Okay. Again, I'm not asking for, I'm telling you the facts of what happened. You believe whatever you want about what I'm telling you. But
yeah, he said crystal clear. Yes, that did pop into my head. Wow, her name's Crystal, but it means absolutely nothing, and it's not poor taste. It's nothing. People just use the phrase crystal clear all the time. You know, I mean, every single person in the chat right here, at some point in their life, has used the phrase, "It's crystal clear."
Not me, Gray. I never did that.
Oh God, see, that's what I'm saying. You know, there's people. I don't ever use that one, Gray. I've never said. All right, here we go.
get paid to be truthful.
I'm so used to hitting that button.
I'm here, my whole point today, when I'm doing a polygraph examination, I'm working for you, working for the person in that chair. This is about a quest for the truth. And we're much closer today to the truth than we were when you first walked in that door. You can deny.
Not
That's
really.
That's what people do as well. That's what you've done at this point. And it's human nature. You know, when people are asked questions about a matter such as this, they immediately circle the wagons and start to, well, our self-preservation, we all
Man,
do
let me
that.
just cut you off. I mean, do we need to take this any further?
I would like to take it to the truth. That's the whole reason
Because
we're here.
it's a test, though. I mean, man, you're talking crazy.
Well,
I mean, you're talking crazy.
was that
And you
your
said-
rehearsed response to what was going to happen today? Because it sure sounds like it.
I don't know what it sounds like. I'm just telling
Well,
you.
I'm telling you what it is.
You're talking crazy.
What's crazy about it? Explain to me.
The accusations you're making.
Yeah, I'm
But
saying
you
you were
know-
involved in this.
Absolutely not.
Well,
None.
you already told me that. That's why we did the polygraph, to find out. Well, now we both know.
I told you what now?
You told me before you had nothing to do with it. Right.
Yes.
Well, now we're past that because I've already shown that you did have something.
I don't know what the
I
test.
just showed you.
Okay.
I
See
just
what I'm
showed
saying?
you.
Okay.
But I'm telling.
You get what I'm saying, though. Why I look at this differently than other people. I just look at this guy Nick isn't going to fall for it. I think he's guilty as hell, but he's not going to fall for it. And this guy is trying every little gimmicky trick, and it's just it's almost funny, because to me, I'm looking at it going, oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Here we go. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, you're talking crazy. You're crazy.
Was that a rehearsed response that you had coming in here? Because he caught him off guard.
And yeah, I did have.
And I'm telling you, you're lying. I mean, I can't make it any. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I'm just telling you the truth.
That's what I'm doing to you. I'm telling you the truth.
No, you're not. We're past that. I've already shown you.
I've taken the polygraph. Do you have anything else for me? Because I mean, I'm not going to sit here and we're not going to go back and forth like this.
You do whatever you want to do. I said I'm.
I mean, I want to cooperate with you. I mean, I'm not here.
Tell me what happened. Tell me what you know.
I don't know anything.
We're past that. You've already shown me that you do.
I know nothing. I'm sorry.
That's not true. It's not me. I just showed you. I don't even show people that are.
You know what's weird about him is his mouth looks like he's about to talk a lot of times when he's just sitting there. It's like this little.
I agree.
Yeah. It's really weird.
And then he never says anything.
Yeah.
Except he doesn't know.
And I even went the extra step for you to find out, okay, well, let's try to nail down what you know more about. You know more about this?
It's almost like he's rehearsing what he's saying quietly, like kind of, because it's really strange. It's almost like he's forming words, but he's not saying anything.
He might be saying,
who would know? Am I saying that you
punch you?
Yeah,
that might be what he's
probably.
saying.
I'm gonna.
You did it or you didn't? No, I'm just saying you know more than we did. Whether that's a simple conversation with your brother, or whether you were physically involved out there, I can't tell you. Either one of those things would explain what I'm seeing. My hunch is it's something that your brother told
like
me.
right there, it's weird.
I don't know anything. He has not spoken with me about this.
Well,
He's my brother.
I'm glad you said that, because he probably would know better than to say specific things. So it's a matter then, perhaps, of what you observed, what you saw other people say. I don't know. I wasn't there. All I'm telling you is, objectively, that's what we do. You and I do. That badge on there is what? It's to protect society. That's what a shield is, right?
Yes.
That's what we do. And I'm protecting you just as I would anybody else. But at the end of the day, I'm protecting one thing, and that's the truth. And objectively, looking at the facts, even if I were to take this out of the equation, why would somebody, on numerous occasions, in a formal interview...
But aren't everybody mouth breathers, Jenny Penny, at some point? Like, let's say you have a cold and your nose is plugged. Well, the only way you can breathe while you're sleeping is through your mouth, right? I know that term has become, like, for someone that's dumb, like a Neanderthal.
Mouth breathers.
It's kind of funny. I actually looked up the origin of the diss on that.
Under oath over there, say
Seinfeld?
something they know isn't true.
I don't even. It was just sort of like it's become popular recently.
Well, I mean, do you think it would have had anything to do with being a little irritated about how things are going? I mean,
Well, that's why you would lie?
I didn't lie.
Well, I'm telling you did. I mean, I can show that already. This is not even...
Tell me about one of the lies.
Well, I can do that.
Jenny Penny is saying that she would actually allow herself to die in the middle of the night before breathing through her nose if her nose was plugged. She would not breathe through her mouth because it's a principle of it all. That's funny.
It is.
Unless you're going to help me to understand the reasons behind it.
Dude,
I'm not going to lay out all the evidence that they do or don't have, but I can tell
I
you...
didn't ask you. I said, tell me about something I've lied about.
That's what we're talking about. In the grand jury, you said places that you were not. Today, when I asked you specifically a moment ago about whether or not you were ever at certain places, and you told me no. Well, I already knew when I asked that question that wasn't true, because I can place you there. Those are just examples.
Are you talking about the video out there in the driveway?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
But I can promise you that I have been 100% honest with you.
No, that's what everybody, 100% honest. That's just, you take retechnique stuff. That's what everybody says. I'm 110% honest. That's not it. Look, there's either the truth or not the truth, right?
And that's what I gave you, the truth.
Well, but you didn't, and I've already shown that. I give you benefit of that before you come in. I'm assuming you're telling me the truth.
See, when did he ever show anything? He just says that it said something. So that's another thing, too.
That's what was getting me frustrated, too. I'm like, okay, so is he going to show the truth? No? What? When?
Yeah. It's not a question of if. We know that you did something, and it's just, why did you do it, And he's like, it just doesn't work.
I treat people the way they treat me. You haven't been an ass with me, and I'm not going to be an ass with you. I'm not that kind of guy. But I'm laying out for you what I've seen here. I can't argue with this. I've done over 2,000 of these. Trust me, when I told you I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing.
You must have slipped up today. I mean, I don't...
What do you think I'm doing better than you?
See, that's funny. It's like God, he's just
I know you slipped up, but if you're telling me that I failed that test,
I told you in no certain terms you did fail that test.
well, then the
I showed you.
test, then it wasn't valid. I mean,
Absolutely valid.
well, listen, I'm telling you, I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, well that's fine, and I'll tell you, I'll even give you that you had nothing to do with it. Okay?
I know for
For
certain.
purposes here today.
I know for certain I had nothing to do with it, and I know nothing about it.
Well, that I won't give you.
Well,
That's-
I mean,
that's a
I've
lie,
shown-
100%.
Look, one of the two things is true. Either you know something, and it could be something relatively insignificant that you haven't told me.
I don't
because-
know anything. Absolutely nothing.
Well, then why would you be less than candid with me, with the other interview, and in the grand jury?
There's a reason for that.
That's what I'm saying. Explain that to me.
I had nothing to do with this, and I don't know anything about it.
No.
You know, just irritation. I mean, that just kind of worked its way into this.
Okay.
You know, I've been 100% honest.
Okay, well, that gets to, maybe that's it. Let me ask you that. All right, I'll give you that. When I ask you if you'd be less than candid, that means less than 100% truthful about things. You said you were irritated. Okay, which I understand. I would be too. Truthfully, no doubt about it.
Okay.
I mean, it's interesting that he admits that he wasn't truthful, and he said there's a reason for it. But do we ever get to hear the reason?
No.
Have I been accused of things in the past that I didn't do? Yeah. Have I been accused of things I did do? Absolutely. Okay. And I've been irritated when I got accused of things I did do because I got caught, and then I got to face up to the consequences. You talk about being irritated in there. Tell me some of the things then. Again,
I'm not rehashing all this. I'm just.
No.
I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time.
My time is not wasted if we're here talking.
Listen, I don't know nothing about this.
Mhm.
Nothing at all, and I had nothing to do with it. I don't know anything.
Well,
If I had something to tell you, I would. She's got kids.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Why do you think we're here?
Okay, look, I don't know nothing.
Well, something you just
Not
said.
even something insignificant.
Clear that up for me. What you just because
Maybe it's possible that Brooks killed Crystal, and his sole role was advising him on how to cover it up and those kind of things, and literally didn't touch or do anything like that. And so he feels comfortable saying he had nothing to do with it. He had nothing to do with it, and he's just lying about because we know for sure he's lying about not remembering conversing with him. So maybe
Yeah, I mean, if he knew that he was covering his tracks really well, then sure, yeah, you can feel comfortable in saying, because the more you repeat it, the more it sounds like the truth in your own mind.
Yeah, so it's well, it could be two things. Like he's definitely part of the murder and everything,
Absolutely.
or it could be that he's part of the entire cover up of the murder. So he's saying when they ask him, did you have anything to do with this? He's like, no, because he doesn't have anything to do with that, but he has to do with the cover up part. And that's why he doesn't remember any of the conversations that he had with him. He's the one that called him, remember? He's the one that followed him out there. I don't know. It seems like he's way more involved than just the cover up part of it. But I don't know.
Yeah, there's no way. He absolutely was involved. He's involved with the Jason thing. I believe there was some kind of drug corruption situation happening that he and his brother benefited from. Crystal found out something. I don't know what. But
it would be interesting.
No way.
Here's what would be interesting. It sounds like they do know that maybe she was seeing somebody else. And what if it was a police officer? Did she confide in that police officer some things that were going on?
Possibly.
And then that would be crazy, right? There'd be a motive there, but you still have to prove something, right? Anyways, let me go back to it.
I said, why would you be less than candid with me or the other interview in the grand jury? And you said, why would that be? Because I was irritated. Okay.
Well, just being irritated and being put in front of 12 people and accused of stuff like this, I mean, you're going to forget things and not be able to speak as well as you normally would. I mean, there's more to it than you're saying.
Well, that's what I'm asking. That's exactly what I'm asking.
Some of those things you can't explain. I'm not going to sit here and try to explain.
Take your time. Relax. Look, as I said, I'm sitting here. I'm here working for you. If there's stuff to explain, explain it. I will take all day with you to fix it.
And it would take all day to go through all this. I mean,
brother, you're on the clock. You're getting paid, so am I. Give me some thumbnail sketch if you want. Just explain to me what your big concerns are.
I'm not going there.
Why not? It makes no sense.
I'm not going there. Okay.
Well, it's not okay for me.
Well,
look at what we're dealing with here. We're talking about the potential murder of an individual, or an accidental death, right?
And if I knew anything, I would help you.
No,
out. But I
stop.
don't.
We're going to.
I know where you're going with this, man.
Where am I going?
You're going to just bring all this stuff about Crystal, and you need to
No.
be,
No,
go ahead.
I told you. I told you I wouldn't go this whole read technique stuff with you, right? What I'm talking about just is what you just said about explaining it to me, so I can understand where you're coming from. You don't have to go through a whole life's history unless you want to. Just you said that you were irritated, and there's things that you don't know, man. That's what you said.
You know what's weird? It's almost like his lips are moving when the other person's talking, and he's mimicking sometimes even the head movement. Very odd.
Said to me, help me to understand what some of those things are that I don't understand, that would then make me understand the reason for this. There can be explanations, is my point.
Yeah, I mean, just this whole process,
Talk to
starting
me
from
about
the
it.
chief and going down. I'm not going to do that.
But you said there's things
This
I don't know
will
about
be
this.
shown to him. He'll be irritated, and then he'll be watched. I'm not doing that. It's that simple. I mean, either
What do you mean? I'm not understanding.
you ought to be following me, man. If you're as sharp as if you work for the, you ought to be following me. Okay?
Talk to me
If I
like
start
I'm a
to-
kid then.
No, I'm not. Okay?
I'm giving you every opportunity.
And I'm telling you, no. Okay? I don't know anything about this.
Well, that's okay. That's not what I'm talking about. But you said there's things that
I'm
I
not
don't know
going
that
into
would
it.
explain it.
I'm not going into it. Okay?
Why not?
Because it's not worth going into.
I would think it would be very worth going into.
It's not worth going into.
Why not?
Okay? I'm not talking about it. Period.
So he's saying there's some things that made him sound suspicious during the grand jury hearing, but he's not going to go into it, and that's because there isn't anything. I don't think there is anything. I think he sounds suspicious because he sounds suspicious.
Because he's suspicious.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's saying, I'm not going to go into it because there isn't anything to go into it, but he wants he wants people to think that there's something out there.
Yeah, I mean, this is a man who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke,
Yeah.
doesn't do drugs, doesn't go out, doesn't drink coffee, doesn't drink energy drinks. He doesn't talk to his brother very much. Sometimes he goes fishing. He has literally nothing going on in his life. He doesn't know Crystal. He barely sees his family. And he doesn't, he can't remember yesterday.
I wonder how he got through life.
I think everything about this guy is a lie.
Yeah.
I think everything he's told us about himself is absolute bullcrap.
I wonder how
Nothing
he probably
he's saying is
passed his
true.
police exam the same way. They probably had a question. He goes, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Well, that's cool. Yeah, a lot of people don't remember. Go ahead. You're a cop. There's no way. This guy, I don't know. He seems almost like a sociopath in a way. I mean, it's weird.
Well,
how-
when you were saying about the mouth and the movements, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like, who is this guy that you would think your law enforcement, this is quite a tragedy, but if he's bouncing the behavior he has off of what his brother wasn't concerned about his own girlfriend, child's mother. So why would he be concerned, I guess, except for the fact that he is a police officer. And you would think, I don't think that would be a conflict of interest if he was out there helping the search, or at least behaving in a way that he was interested. When he's being asked, well, what do you know? Well, I never talked to my brother about it. Well, you never talked about Crystal? No, never talked about it. How are you? What? You're a cop.
You're
She's
so
missing. You
concerned.
never asked?
Yeah, your brother's in interrogation. You're so concerned you call him in the middle of it, and yet you
Right.
never asked him ever again, prior
Right.
or after, about the thing that you called him up to quit talking about. Yeah, forget it. Right? Forget it.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
Why not?
Because I'm choosing not to.
Okay, that's fine. But tell
Okay,
me
I'm not
face to
gonna say-
face as a man, I'm not going to tell you the truth. That's all I'm asking.
That's not what I just said.
That's what I'm hearing.
Well, then you need to rethink it.
Well, help me to rethink it then. Look,
I'm not
trying
going.
to...
Listen to me. I'm not going into it. Okay.
No,
I mean,
that's not really okay.
I'm here to cooperate with your polygraph and all that stuff. And you can make any kind of notes you want. You can assume that I fail. I don't. It doesn't bother me.
What is it you haven't told me that's causing you such concern here?
I'm not going into to everything that's
He
happening.
keep trying. He's like a
You
little.
know, I mean,
Like what?
See, this
Not
interrog-
doing it.
This
No.
well, the interrogator is like a kid that asks for a cookie, and your dad says no, and then the kid
But why
spends
not?
the kid spends the next hour, like I used to do,
Begging.
okay, trying to word it differently to get the same damn cookie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
and it never ending up with the cookie, right?
No cookies for you.
Right.
No
I
cookies
don't
for
have
you.
nothing to do with this. Guys showing up at my house?
Look, this is the first day you and I have met, right?
Yes.
Have I been anything but cordial with you here today?
And I think I've been the same way with you.
I'm not accusing you of not being.
Okay, there's nothing else to discuss here.
Well,
I mean, if I had something to give you, I would. I don't.
put yourself in my seat for just a second, okay?
Okay.
And I'm talking to someone who's a family member, essentially, is missing and possibly dead. And you're sitting here, and that individual, who you know nothing about, never met before today, right? But you've seen some interviews where you haven't been completely truthful about things. Not just kind of, haven't been completely truthful about a couple of
I've been 100% truthful.
Listen to what I'm saying.
You listen to what I'm saying. I've been 100%
Why are
truthful.
you yelling at me?
Well, because you're telling me I'm lying, and I know I'm not. I know the truth, you know? And I've been 100%
You don't
honest
know the truth.
with you, the grand jury, and everybody else I've spoken
No,
with.
you haven't. Here's what I'm getting. We just said.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
I most definitely have. And if you don't want to believe it, that's your issue. It's not mine.
It's not just me. I showed you.
Dude, I don't give a goddamn what your fucking computer said.
I
Okay?
think you do.
I'm telling you that I have been 100% honest with you.
Is this how you act when does this act this way towards Crystal?
When somebody... Is this how I act toward Crystal?
Yeah.
I act toward people that accuse me of lying when I'm not lying.
Did she
That's
accuse
how
you
I
of
act.
lying?
No, I didn't know Crystal.
Then why are you getting so animated?
Because you're calling me a fucking liar.
No,
That's
I'm
why.
just calling you a liar. I'm
Okay?
not cussed you.
I don't like it when people call me a liar. I'm being 100% truthful with you.
There's only the truth or not. What you
Dude,
said.
why can't you? I'm being truthful.
Look,
Okay.
we're not 2-year-olds, all right?
Okay.
So it's not, yes I am, no I'm not. Yes I am, no I'm not. We're talking, look, I've been nothing but professional with you and trying to help you in this
Okay.
situation.
Other than calling me a liar when I'm not.
Look, if the right thing to do is to tell you you're not being truthful, then I'm going to tell you that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay? Look, I don't care. Little lies, big lies, they're all the same in terms of the
I
polygraph.
haven't told any lies.
That's not entirely true.
It is 100% true.
Then help me to figure this out.
Okay.
What you just told me a moment ago, maybe explain it to me so that maybe I misunderstood what you're telling me. But you told me because you were irritated and there's all kinds of things that I don't know about whatever.
Yeah, you got pretty heated right there. I still could listen. I have this.
Don't you call me a liar.
I got this.
I don't give a
here.
good goddamn, Gray.
I never called you a liar.
Well, don't ever call me a liar. And you're not having any cookies. That's it.
But
Like, he's so
let me try to word the cookie. Just if I got okay, forget it.
He is pissed.
Yeah, but you see, this is why I say what I say about this one. I think Nick kind of ran the show here, and this guy really couldn't. He tried all these little goofy techniques that some moron might actually fall, like cave into, but this guy isn't going to do that.
I don't know why these guys haven't been interrogated. Bring in the FBI and just get them in that room and be relentless. But
Well, I wish you could interrogate like they did in the 50s.
yeah,
That was
isn't
actually-
the guy from the FBI that he's talking to now? Or
Yeah, it's an FBI.
Doesn't he work with them?
Yeah, he's an FBI polygrapher guy.
It's crazy. I don't understand this. There's no way.
We're about halfway
No.
through this, so we could probably get through it.
That I
Right,
can't
go.
understand why you would say the things you said. That's what
Dude,
you
it's
told me.
just been an experience.
Well,
All this is going on.
but
You
that's
got
what I'm
guys
asking
showing up
about.
over at my house taking calls. I mean, this is crazy.
Okay, but that's what I'm asking about. Are we talking about because of things that have been going on since it's happened, or are you talking about there's things that have gone on over time that I'm not understanding?
No, I'm talking about recently
Okay,
involving.
well, how am I supposed to know that if you don't
Yeah,
tell
I
me
mean,
that?
this is simple stuff, man. I mean, I have been 100% honest with you, and surely, God, you can understand with people showing up at my house and my family out there taking cars. The neighbors are watching. Man, it's been screwed up.
Of course I can understand.
Okay,
But
I
I
know.
wasn't there. How do I know all this?
Well, man, you just assume. I mean, if you were a patrol officer and you got your chief showing up, and I mean, dude, that's crazy.
Look, I've been
Who the
nothing
hell?
but professional.
I mean,
Listen,
listen. They come up with all these lies about, well, there's bodily fluid in your car, there's blood. There is no way in hell there is any blood in that car.
I have no idea.
Everybody's told me that. I could speak with the state police. That's the first thing they said.
Okay.
Grand jury. I mean, it's crazy.
But I'm not them, right?
Okay, but I'm just saying this is crazy.
It may be. All I'm saying, look, I'm not vouching for all this stuff. The evidence will speak for itself, right?
Sure.
So it really doesn't matter what people want to say or not. The evidence that I've told you about that I can demonstrate are things that we already do have back that I can show. Again, I don't think they're anything that paint you in a horrible light. They show discrepancies with what you've said. Well, there may be a very clear reason for that.
There is.
Well, that's all I'm saying. I'm not. Look, when I accuse you of lying over here, okay, and lie is a bad one. Nobody wants to hear a lie. We've all lied in our lives. I don't care who you are. I have, no doubt about it.
So he says that there's reasons he was being deceptive, but he won't share what those are. So that's the thing is, I think that's a lie again there. That's what we were talking about before. He's just lying about there being something.
We all
I have a question, Greg.
Nobody wants to hear.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Just a very quick
Yes,
question.
it's
You have
applesauce.
to be honest,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay, you ready?
yeah.
Allegedly, if this happened today, would you be in favor of the boots on the ground YouTubers protesting in front of Nick's house? Yes or no?
No.
Oh, come on. You would.
I'm not for it at all.
Just Nick.
Yeah, I'm
And
just,
Brooke.
but I'm just
Brooke's
not.
in there.
I'm just not for it. You know, it's like it doesn't do any. Well, I guess it would be for if you want like, what do you call it? Like train wreck television, sure. But you're not gonna.
I want them out there.
Oh, I
in front
gotta get
of
this
Nick's
one.
house.
This is my sleep tech people. But, okay, you gotta.
Okay, just to
But somebody who's telling a lie, it's the same thing as saying they're not being completely truthful, right? Okay, that's a little prettier way of saying it, but it's the same thing. I'm not saying you're so dishonest, you so this and that. That's not what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is today with you, I have been 100% honest, and I don't know nothing about it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and I'm saying that that's not entirely true, but it could be.
I mean,
but
if-
listen to what I'm saying here, okay? You want to get mad and defensive about it. Hear what I'm saying, okay?
Go ahead.
Because I'm truthful. I'm going to be completely truthful
Okay.
as I have been. Person would fail a polygraph on the questions that I asked you on a spectrum of issues, whether it be, yeah, you were out there and watched her get shot and killed by somebody. And again, I'm making that up, all right? You would fail if that had happened and you told me you knew nothing about it, right? Obviously. On the far end of the spectrum, if there's something you know about in your mind that you haven't told me or other investigators, could be about as simple as you saw an argument one time, and again, I'm making it up. You saw an argument between Brooks and Crystal a year ago where she pushed him.
They've never been physical with one another.
I'm making it up.
Okay.
Right? What I'm talking about is the bigger picture is you would fail a polygraph on something that simple or something that dramatic. It doesn't matter. It could be anything in between. I'm not assuming it's a worst case. In fact, I'm assuming it's something you just haven't got off your chest with me or someone else. That's all I'm saying. Is it a little more clear what I'm talking about?
It is, but there's nothing on my chest.
Well, but here's the thing, and I think that there is.
Okay.
And again, I'm not assuming that it's something huge and dramatic. It may be. I can't tell you what this thing is going into your brain and telling you this is what you're seeing. That's not what I'm saying. All this does is tells me, do you, not me, do you feel you are being completely truthful or do you not? And it is telling me you.
Anything big in there? That's my.
No, same story.
Okay.
You did it. You didn't. You're yes, no.
Yeah, but let me go before what you were saying. It's like train wreck television.
Listen.
It's not worth it to me. I think if you allow it in anything, I mean, it'd be entertaining, but this guy would probably do something to them. So maybe. Yeah.
Well, could we put them in a private room with him? No cameras, no YouTube. Just put them in there until he breaks.
Oh well,
I think
no.
it would
Well,
work.
they wouldn't break, but I'd love that to actually happen, and see.
It would work.
And see who comes out of the room still standing.
I think he'd come out crying.
Oh yeah, no way, man. Jeez. Listen, the bullhorn people have no effect on anything. They do not work at all. All right, thank you.
They might make him cry from yelling at him. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah, he
All
does.
right, moving along.
He does seem like somebody that would cry over that, right?
Eventually, he doesn't even want to be called a liar. So
Yeah.
You do not feel you're being completely truthful. Well, that's okay. Your level of what's truthfulness may be a little different than mine. That's why I take the time to explain what I'm asking and why I'm asking it. So it's clear when I ask that question, you can confidently say yes or no. Well, obviously, with those two questions in particular, about Crystal and about whether you're hiding any information, there's something that you weren't confident enough to say with 100% certainty. There's some other thing, and it may be a personal family issue, for all I know. that you feel, and frankly, I think it's probably something along those lines, that you feel, well, man, if I tell them that, they're going to think that he's just evil Pete or he did something terrible. I'm not going to think.
If anything stands out in my mind, I'll tell you.
Well, then what, looking back at, when you think about this investigation, and not talking about other investigators and else, the investigation and what happened to Crystal and how that's affecting your brother and his child. With all this, when you sit at home at night and you're laying in bed and you think about what's your biggest concern in looking back? Because we all do. We all are analytical in law enforcement. We think about everything that's ever happened, right? And you start assessing this. You may not discuss it with everybody else. I get that. People handle emotions in different ways, especially in traumatic circumstances. I know I do. I'm an internal person. But I guarantee you that means I think about it inside more than I'm talking about it to other people. And what I'm saying is, when you're sitting there at night and you're thinking about it, maybe you talked to Brooks, but maybe you didn't. What is it? Where does your mind focus on something that you look back at and go, man, maybe that's something that I should have talked to Brooks about, or maybe that's something that might have had something to do with it. Where do you focus? These are just suspicions in your mind, right? But what do you think about? That's what cops do. That's what we do. Where does your mind land at when you think about those?
I don't know. I mean, I just don't, I didn't know Crystal. I don't really know my nephew. I know that's sad.
I get it.
I mean, I just wasn't around them. I never really saw them argue anything. If they did it away from me. I don't.
Well, that's fine. And if they did argue in front of you, I don't care. I mean, people argue. So what? My point is, if there's things, anyone along that nature, or even a comment that Brooks has made before or after she went missing, that may cause you some pause in your mind, that may be
never
enough
gonna say anything
to cause you to have an issue on the fire.
Ever.
What are you saying? He's never going to... Yeah.
Ever. He's never, ever.
Right. And he's still finding another way, asking to have a cookie. Right? Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I can't put words... I don't know what you know. I only know, do you believe you're being truthful or not? And you don't feel you're being 100% truthful, as you said. Maybe you're being 99 now. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, if I did, I'd tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I can't just make something up, and throw it at you. I mean,
I asked you to. That's why I'm asking you just to tell me the truth and what you... See, the way it's working suspicions don't do anything. Wondering, thinking, oh gosh, I don't know, what could it be that has nothing to do with it. You only respond in the way you do, your physiological signature of somebody who's thinking about this specific thing. Which means in your mind, and again, I have no idea what that thing is. It could be something horrible, it could be something very explainable. But only you know what that is. And that's what I'm getting at is, try to get you to just... So this is the thing that I was thinking about, I had some concerns about. And at that point, I'm going to, okay, well, that probably explains what I'm seeing here. And again, it's not going to be a big deal. It's what we do. When people initially say, I don't know nothing about nothing, and it turns out as they're sitting later tonight, they go, okay, I do know a little bit about something, but it's probably not important. But I'm going to have told you I don't know anything, so if I tell you this, you're going to think I'm lying to you. Well, that's not the case.
Man, nothing stands out. I mean, I wish I could come up with something, but I can't. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I've been 100% truthful with you. I mean, I can't think of any examples. They never gotten, I don't think Brooks would have ever got physical with her. I really didn't see them argue. I mean, I ain't got nothing to give you.
Well, and I'm glad to say it because everything from what little I've talked to people about Brooks in particular, about you two, is there's not a history of violence and that kind of stuff. There's been no domestic accusations, nothing like that. Which means that whatever happened here was likely, again, I hesitate to use the word accident, but it was, I say, unintended, because people can get push and shove, and I don't know, I haven't even seen her. How big is she? She's not real big, is she?
maybe 150 pounds or something.
Yeah, well, to me that's big, but he's bigger than she is.
Yeah. Okay.
And men being men, women, they get hot-headed and they start pushing and shoving and screaming and throwing tantrums and all that. Yeah. So not all right to throw a blanket, but a lot.
Wow, that wouldn't make it on a television show, right? That wasn't...
Because women in our tantrums and pushing people.
I'm going to make that a sound effect for my sound effect. Let's do that again.
Maybe 150 pounds or something.
Yeah, well, to me that's big. But,
here we go, everybody. Listen.
He's bigger than she is.
Yeah. Okay.
And men being men, women, they get hot-headed and they started pushing and shoving and screaming and throwing tantrums and all that. Yeah. So not all right.
There you go. That's what women do, everybody. We just heard it from the FBI expert.
Imagine.
But a lot do. And all I'm saying is in those situations, if it's a situation where she got mad and she pushed or shoved and the defendant's not going to hit a woman, it could be as simple as in the course of that, she fell and hit her head on something. For all I know. Again, I'm making up, I don't know. But in those circumstances, that's a real easy answer to what's occurred here. Again, we're going to find it, we're going to know exactly what happened. But,
sure, no doubt.
But the time to hear about those things, what actually happened out there, is before we get to that.
I wish I could lead you there, but I can't. I've got nothing for you.
Okay.
I don't know where she's at. We didn't have nothing to do with it. I'm telling you, that's the way it is. I mean, I don't know, if you watch the grand jury testimony or my interview with the state police, I mean, sometimes I don't speak well. Like, I've got my report in front of me. I read word for word. I just don't remember all that stuff. And then you put 12 people in front of you and they start asking you a bunch of silly questions.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff just blanks out. I mean, I don't respond well to that.
I get that. I don't like speaking in front of groups, period, even 12 people in a jury. I hate testifying.
So is that what he was talking about right there? Just sort of
but
not responding well under pressure and
I'm also a student of
cop.
physics, so I'm a
Yeah,
master's
it's weird.
degree.
It's like
So when I watch the interviews, I don't just listen, but I listen to what's being said, how it's being said, statement analysis, kinesics, physiology, what people are doing in the room. And you could turn off the sound in some of those interviews and see spots where an objective interviewer would point and go, you're not being completely truthful right there. Well, I did leave the sound on, so I listened to some of those spots. Again, I don't think they're huge critical issues, and it may be as simple as what you said earlier, that because of irritation and accusations, you just decided you're not going to tell people about whatever, fill in the blank.
Well, it's not that I didn't tell them. It's just that a lot of that stuff I didn't remember,
Okay.
And I'm not going to start making stuff up or tweak it in any way.
Yeah.
I'll just straight up tell you I don't remember. If I don't, I'm not going to make something up.
Absolutely, and I get that. And I'm not. I wouldn't want you to say something that you didn't know. I mean, if you do that, you're lying by definition.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is.
Wait, what did you just say there?
Hillary
You tried to
Clinton's
sneak
prime
that in there.
example,
Let me
right?
hear that.
And I'm older than you, but looking back in the Whitewater days.
That's
I wouldn't want you to say something that you didn't know. I mean, if you do that, you're lying by definition.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is, I mean, we all look politicians. Hillary Clinton is a prime example, right? And I'm older than you, but looking back in the Whitewater days, way back when, and she was interviewed, her husband was interviewed. So we use those as studies in interview and interrogation.
all that.
And what do they say more often than any other? What's the phrase they use?
I don't know. I'm not up to date.
That's actually what they say, but they say I don't recall. And
that was okay. That was good right there.
And so, and I'm not saying that's not the case with you, but when you hear I don't recall,
Yeah.
it tends to raise flags with people that are
Right.
investigatively asking questions,
Yep.
right?
It does me.
The truth may be you don't recall, but that certainly.
What's that?
He just doesn't know. That's all.
Yeah, he said that's what Hillary and Bill said in the Whitewater investigations. They always would say, "I don't recall," and then he says, "I don't know." Right when he's asked that question, he goes, "That's exactly what they would say."
That's what that's it.
A viable option. But when you couple those statements with all the other things going on in the room, and then when in some of those instances, not all, but there were a few, where we can physically say, well, no, but he just said, when you didn't say I don't recall, you said I was here or I was not there. And they asked you several times, were you ever there? You said no. And we can show, well, yeah, very clear. Here's the evidence that shows you were there.
If you're talking about the vehicles in the driveway, they harped on that and harped on
I'm not
it.
talking about
I mean, they must have asked that question 10 times. I mean,
I'm not.
we may have been. I don't know.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as that, I think at the end of the day, you were, you changed your answers up some with that to be as truthful as I think you could be. When you said, no, I don't think we were there, and so I don't think, and ultimately we have, and we could have been, well, we can show whether you were or weren't there. I mean, that's simple. So whether you recall or not, you were, so I don't care. But what I'm talking about are other times that I haven't given you the evidence on here today. I've asked you questions about where you were or where you were not, and you were definitive. It wasn't, well, I don't think it was, I couldn't have been. It was, no, absolutely not. Okay. Well, and again, it's not a huge issue in the grand scheme of things in terms of you being in a certain spot or not being there. But if I already know the answer to that, the truth, the ground truth, as we say in Polygraph, and you're saying something other than what I know I can prove, it raises questions in my mind.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Well, but it is my point.
Okay, whatever.
It is. My point in that is...
I mean, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you've heard, but I'm just telling you, I didn't do it. I don't know.
Are you laughing at this?
Yes.
Just how he keeps trying over and over.
He's so aggravated. Like, listen, how many times do you want me to say the same thing?
Yeah. And that's the same thing is, well, you're talking about Brooks. Yeah, see, both of them are like that, though.
Same. Yeah.
So, and he keeps saying the same thing over and over again to try to get the answer.
Over again.
Yeah, and then the same questions, but trying to phrase it a little differently. Yeah, it's not a question.
It's never going to work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
It could have ended 40 minutes ago.
Nothing about it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. My brother, and I can tell you, I know him well enough, he didn't do it. It's just the way it is. I mean,
have you ever known somebody that you said wouldn't do something and it turns out they did?
I'm sure I have, but it wasn't my brother.
That's right.
But
so
it could have been
choosing
you, right?
to believe.
Because I know him real well.
I understand.
Yes,
Well, look,
yes, I am.
and if it's my brother, I'm going to feel the same way.
Okay.
My point being is just because you feel that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel 100%. Not 96, not 98. I mean, there's just no. This is crazy. He would not have done that.
But what you're saying is you
Done what?
believe him. At the end of the day.
Well, it's not that I believe him because I haven't questioned him about it. I haven't. That's
Why would?
because I know him well enough. I don't have to ask him that question.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'm asking.
This is so ludicrous right here. This whole
I would
thing.
ask my brother.
You know him so well enough, you wouldn't even ask him.
I don't think I would.
Never.
Even though you called him in the middle of an
investigator.
interrogation to get him to shut up.
To use a police officer, if she's missing, and you believe you have anything to do with it, I would investigate or want to question him and say, look, what do you think happened here? How do we find her? How do we get her back? What do you want me to do about this? That kind of thing. Those are conversations I have had with my family, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why you haven't had those kinds of conversations. Or maybe you have.
We've talked briefly about it.
Well, talk to me a little bit about those conversations then.
I mean, I don't really remember word for word. We've spoken very little about it.
You're not on.
I'm not investigating it. I mean,
I got
a lot of people have asked why we're not out there looking with our family members jumping out in the road giving us. I'm not going to get out in the woods and have somebody end up threatening me or something. Then I've got to do something silly.
But what I'm asking is, you're not under oath here or anything. I'm not asking you to remember specifically what we said. I'm just talking in generalities. Tell me about, were the conversations like what I just described? Hey, what's going on? What do you think happened? How can I help?
I mean, I don't remember those. I mean, I'm not going to start making stuff up, and I'm just not going to do that.
Let me ask this then. If you're me here, maybe reasons, would it not strike you extremely odd that as police?
I just think things get screwed up. I'm not going there. I mean, it's that
Wouldn't you
simple.
want to help him find her?
Of course, I want to help find her.
Well,
I want her to walk in. I want her to walk in his door right now. Clear this whole mess up.
Absolutely. But for that point, that's what I'm saying. Didn't you ask him, hey, what can I do to help?
I mean, we really haven't been around a lot. Around each other a lot. We've been up there to the farm a few times.
Except you called him on the 8th and went to the farm on the 8th.
I didn't know Crystal. He's dealing with this. I'm not gonna stress him out about it.
Yeah, but aren't you gonna help?
Of course I want to help, but
That's what I'm getting at.
But what can we do?
That's what you ask him. What can I do?
There's nothing we can do.
What can anybody else do that's out there?
I mean,
What are you talking
hopefully, like I said, she'll show up any minute. And if not, obviously you guys are going to find her at some point. Find out how she was killed. Is there evidence under her fingernails? All this stuff. And it's not going to point toward him or me.
Who would it point to?
Well, how the hell would I know that?
That's what I'm asking you.
I'm not investigating the crime. I don't know.
Do you have any suspicions of anybody?
I do not. I didn't hang around Crystal. I don't know her husband. I don't know her ex-husband. I don't know those people. If I had anything to throw out at you, I would do it.
Would you?
Most definitely.
What about other investigators?
He's probably a good poker player, I would imagine.
Would you tell them?
You'd never know what the hell was.
I would tell other investigators. I don't too much care for Jon Snow, but the rest of them, I don't have a problem with them.
Okay.
State police, Mike Kaminsky's a good guy. Ed Madley's a good guy.
Okay. You met? I don't know. Is it Detective Snow? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know him other than.
He's just admitted, he's openly admitted that he lies in court, and I just can't deal with a guy like that.
Okay. Did he admit that to you or something?
He admitted it to a bunch of us over in the squad room. There was half a dozen of us over there.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to get between a guy like that and my brother. I mean, I know he had nothing to do with it, but I don't want things to get screwed up either.
Well, I agree.
You know, I want this done right.
I think we all do. Would there be a reason that Brooks would say that he did discuss asking you for any help on this matter?
No, there's no way he said that. No reason, no way, 100% not.
Okay. I know they asked you about it, but I know when he was being interviewed, you called and basically paraphrased.
Yeah, he was
told
with
him to
John
do
Snow.
that.
He was with John Snow
Oh, is
for
that
hours.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I called up there. Brooks is a really cooperative guy. He's honest. You know, and I just basically, I didn't tell him to leave. I told him, I said, you go ahead and finish up your, he was giving a narrative or whatever, a statement.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's fine to give that. I said, say what you mean what you say. You know, I asked him, I said, are they screwing you around? Are they asking the same questions, a bunch of different ways? Because he'd been up there for hours. This wasn't no 1 or 2 hours. He may have been up there like 3 hours or 4 hours. It'd been a while. And I figured John was screwing him around, and I just wanted to find out what was going on there. So that's all that was about. If they want to read more into it, that's up to them, you know?
I'm just asking you just because I...
Yeah,
There's gotta be a
he was
transcript
with
of
John
that.
Snow, period.
There's got to be a transcript of the call because it was we're hearing this sort of poor quality. They've got to have a really clear, and they heard it. Like that Snow guy heard it, so he probably could recall what was being said.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably nowhere.
They
near,
probably asked him at the grand jury too.
Yeah, it's nowhere near what Nick's saying right here.
Was it the same interview when Ryan from State Police was there too?
No.
I don't have any idea if Ryan was here. I know Ryan and another guy interviewed me, but I don't think that the state police have interviewed Brooks.
Okay.
There was a bigger guy. He was probably about, I don't know, blonde hair, short, kind of a heavier set guy, maybe about my height, 250, 240, something like that. And then there was Ryan Johnson was with him. So
That was what we just watched.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen Brooks lose his temper?
hardly ever.
Hardly ever. What about in those rare occasions when you did?
He's like, shit. He should have said
Hey,
never.
I think of an example where he
piece.
just went off.
Hardly ever.
You know, I mean.
Yeah, but he realized right there. You can see his look in his eyes. Oh crap! I should have
Yeah,
said
for
never.
sure.
Every once in a while he may, mess up on a house or something like that, but I mean, Brooks just, he's a pretty calm, laid back dude. He's not, he doesn't take medication. He is level headed.
Okay.
I mean, he keeps up with about 100 rental property. He builds 8 or 10 houses all the time. I mean, he's just,
Is he older or younger than you?
he's younger than me.
Does he kind of look up to you?
I think a lot of times Brooks thinks he's over me, I mean, it just depends. I
Is
mean,
he a leader or a follower?
I think both of us somewhat are leaders.
Okay. What about when the two of you are together? Who's the leader? Not what both of you, realistically.
I don't know. I'm not going to
Fair
say.
enough. That's why I asked. I'm just,
I don't want to put him down.
that tells me that makes you the leader, so I understand. What else haven't we talked about that might clear this up?
If I knew, I'd tell you.
Would you?
Yes.
If there was something that you knew would be helpful, but you felt you were not comfortable telling me or someone else, would you look me in the eye and say, there's some other stuff, but I prefer not to talk to you about it?
You saying one of the detectives here and then just call you?
No, you and me. Right now, as I'm talking, if there are other things that you do know about that you're just simply not comfortable talking to me about, would you look me in the eyes now and tell me there's some other things, but I would just soon be done with it?
Yeah, I'd tell you that. I'd straight up tell you that.
And are there some other things you would just soon not discuss with me?
No.
All right. Anything else I have not asked you about today that in any way could be helpful?
No.
Think I've treated you fairly today?
I think you have.
I've been professional with you?
Yes, sir.
Have you yelled or screamed or cussed at you?
Nope.
Have you yelled or screamed or cussed at me?
A little bit.
And I understand that, okay?
I don't. You know what it is? I think it's like he's condescending sounding. This guy, the FBI guy, the way he talks, like he's just. I mean, I think I don't know. What do you got? What do you think? Just the whole thing.
I
bugs
feel
me.
like he's like, ugh. You know, he's trying a little too hard to make him feel like, yeah, I did the right thing with you today, right? Like, shut up.
And just
you know
whole...
that he did something horrible.
Yeah.
We'll step back out. We'll grab Ryan here, and I'm assuming we'll get you back to work here.
Sound good to me?
All right, appreciate you coming in.
All right.
Well, that was it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Well, that's it, everybody. I mean, for that
There's
part.
that part.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And we do have that other hearing at some point.
We do. We still have so where we're going from here, I'm all the way down. This is how I work. I'm like way down in my chair right now.
Oh.
Sorry. So after this, it looks like
No, I don't have the PDF open. Or
I
anything.
have it in front of me. Hold on. All right, we have the other hearing thing. I think that's about 30 minutes or so. Then what ends up happening from the hearing. Then we start going into some of the people who they question. There's a few people that end up being questioned. We go into the search for Crystal and tell you about some of these people. And then we will go into Tommy, Crystal's dad. So on the next one, it'll probably be about an hour or so, and we'll do a recap of these last three on Sunday, and then maybe on Wednesday we do Tommy's.
Yeah, you want to recap what we've already done? I mean, we can actually play the hearing that they had, because that's related to Nick also.
You want to play that now?
Well, I mean, we're at 2 hours and no, I mean maybe next time at the beginning.
Yeah, next time we would play the hearing and go over the search, the new, we still got, because then there are recent things. So I think we should wrap all that together in this last part that we're about to do. The Nick hearing thing, the search, and then the newest search and information, because that'll kind of tie up the Crystal part, and then we'll move on to Tommy.
I don't know. It seems like I'm just throwing it out
do you
there.
think?
Maybe do like Tommy, like the first, because there were searches that went on, and then go to Tommy, and then get to the newer stuff. Because remember, we even had that body that was found but wasn't hers, and then the new stuff. I mean, more chronological. Because
You want to do it chronologically?
because that would
okay.
be kind of out of order to.
Yeah, I kind of felt like Tommy was
newer.
his own story, though. But
Well,
I
he is,
understand.
yeah.
Chronologically might be better to bring people up to date.
Yeah, it seems like if we put Tommy in there after the we do the
Wrapping this part up.
yeah. And then,
Yeah, I
and then the
definitely
search.
do not want to put Tommy Ballard on the same screen with anything to do with Nick.
No.
So,
Yeah.
in the next show, we'll just do the Nick thing and then some details about some of the searches in the beginning and then move on. 'Cause I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, sounds good.
He does not deserve to be on the same screen as him. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for we got 8 new channel members, so consider becoming a channel member again. The
Thank
rest of you
you.
out there. Yeah, so thank you very much. And so we had Emily Flotilla, I think, sent in a super chat, but it's not on the screen that I have, but I think I remember that one. Then it was Mama She 13, Joanne Price became a channel member, Janai Sotai, I don't know if that's, I think I'm saying that right. And then TTGO Tracy, Mama She 13, and then there was a bunch of, for some reason, there it is. It's like frozen on my screen. There it is. Jamie Miller, Chico's Mummy, Trisha Whistler, Rooster Ray, and Rita Schaefer all became channel members. And then
You guys are great.
Mama She 13 at the end. So thank you guys. Very cool. And we're probably going to do something where I think it was going to donate like 25% of the net income from this channel at the end of the month as well.
Yep.
So
We're
there
just
you go.
deciding on a charity to do that for.
Yeah.
So that'll be happening.
I usually do ones like Nick Mac and Texas Equisearch and Rain, but maybe there's a new one or something that's not getting enough attention out there we could look into, but a crime-related one, you know?
Yeah, I'm doing, for my merch stuff on my channel, Polaris. They help with human trafficking stuff. Black and Missing is a foundation. And then Texas Equisearch is the other one. So we've got those three.
Maybe we can send something, maybe look into one that's related to the indigenous women.
That would be great.
There's so many missing women out there that's just, and I don't even know if it's just women, but there's Native Americans that are, they just go missing in droves, and there's no coverage or anything. It's crazy.
No, there's not. I will actually write it down. I'll look it up tonight.
Oh, cool. Awesome. And there's a possibility, I mean, I'm looking into where John Lorden was sent an email out on my behalf to try to maybe do Crime Con. And if I get that, it will be probably do it for So Mean, because I think that'd be better. Like, have a So Mean one, and then we can both have our channels as well at the same booth if we end up doing this, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. It's a good experience.
It's possible. Yeah.
It's a really cool experience. I mean, meeting all these people you see all the time on television and then
yeah,
on
it'd be
YouTube.
like a weekend thing. So I think that would work out for my crazy schedule.
Yeah.
It's just the travel. So
yeah,
that would be fun.
It's a long one.
But yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So there you go, everybody. Thank you for being here on part 3 and the third part of part 3, Crystal Rogers, and we're going to continue on. What is it, Sunday?
Yes, sir. Sunday.
All right. So thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you next time. And I always say, and be safe out there, and
we love you so much.
We got to do the Brady Bunch thing where you look up and you look down because I'm below you.
Yeah, I have to look down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So see you guys later, and here we go. Boom.
Don't talk.
I wasn't talking.
We're talking.
Well, now I am because you said don't talk.
Oh my God. Always mess up that.
See you guys later.
Look at that.